Jean Qianqing was prepared to self-destruct and destroy those jade slips with her if Yi Mo tried to force her. But little did she know she wouldn't even be able to do that. Jean Qianqing was prepared to self-destruct and destroy those jade slips with her if Yi Mo tried to force her. But little did she know she wouldn't even be able to do that. Just when she was extremely nervous, Yi Mo suddenly took out 15 corner soul weed and 2 jade bottles. I'll use these things to exchange your jade slips. No, not exchange. Just let me make a copy, and when I leave I will still take you with me. She thought Yi Mo was about to attack, but he took out things to trade with her instead. She was thinking that if she didn't trade she would die anyways, but realized that Yi Mo gave her corner soul weed. Corner soul weed! Jean Qianqing called out in shock. Soon she found that they seemed very high quality, and there were 5 dark weed. How could she not know the value of corner soul weed? She had been here for a decade and long wanted one, but her ability was limited. She could only watch them come and go. But now, Yi Mo gave her 15 and 5 were dark weed. In all her years here, she hadn't even seen corner soul weed that were as good quality as Yi Mo's much less dark weed. Jean Qianqing subconsciously grabbed a dark weed. The snow-white dark weed landed in her hand and gave her an extreme sense of pleasure coming from the depth of her soul. Just how many corner soul weed did he get here? This was her first time seeing a cultivator able to catch dark weed and catch so many too. Even if Yi Mo just gave her 1 dark weed, she would be willing to trade. Since Yi Mo was planning to trade, it meant he didn't abuse the weak. Plus, Yi Mo just wanted a copy of it. Qianbei, I'm willing to exchange as long as Qianbei is willing to take my away from here. Jean Qianqing tried to calm herself down, but she couldn't. Yi Mo nodded. Of course, but there's life-threatening danger in leaving here. You need to prepare. Qianbei, Wanbei knows. Even if I die here, I'm willing to go with Qianbei. Jean Qianqing said with certainty. Yi Mo nodded. He was very happy with her attitude. If it was 2 weeks ago, there would be danger of dying, but now it was completely fine. Those lethal corner soul weed to other cultivators were just spirit sense cultivation treasures. For Yi Mo, Jean Qianqing took out 6 jade slips and gave it to Yi Mo. These are the jade slips my ancestor left behind. Please copy them, Qianbei. Yi Mo nodded and took out blank jade slips. Jean Qianqing carefully put the 15 corner soul weed in 15 jade boxes before looking at the 2 jade bottles. Disaster life pill? Truth spirit pill. Jean Qianqing was completely dumbfounded. Yi Mo's status rose in her heart drastically again. This truth realization state, Qianbei, seemed much younger than her, but he was extremely powerful and this wealthy. Thank you, Qianbei. Jean Qianqing bowed to Yi Mo. She completely trusted Yi Mo now. Yi Mo nodded and put away the copied jade slips and handed back the original to Jean Qianqing. Qianbei, according to my guess, there are countless tidal flows in this immortal formation. If we just control one rule, we can find a formation door of this formation. Jean Qianqing said. Yi Mo asked her, do you know one of the rules? Jean Qianqing shook her head. I haven't found one yet, but even the most patient person would need 50 to 100 years. Yi Mo frowned. He didn't think she was wrong. She was level 7 formation grandmaster, and definitely wouldn't make a mistake in judgment here. He didn't think he would be able to find the rule in an extremely short time. Even with the help of the 3-birth chant, he would need 2 or 3 decades. But he definitely couldn't wait a few decades here before going out. Seeing Yi Mo frown, Jean Qianqing said, Yi Qianbei, don't worry. Although I haven't found the rule, someone on the island probably has. Who? Yi Mo blurted out. Jean Qianqing heard this and knew Yi Mo was more desperate to go out than her. It's the Xian brothers at the marketplace. They also really wanted to leave the city. If it wasn't that their power is too low and can't stop the corner soul weed, I would want to collaborate with them. I suspect that they knew one of the rules, but they didn't go to Qianbei when Qianbei made the public notice because they are waiting. I'm certain that if Qianbei went back to the Sea Corner City, they would come asking for collaboration immediately. They saw people daring to charge to Qianbei's home in Sea Corner City and thought Qianbei was... Yemo interrupted her and said coldly, "Someone dares to barge into my place." "Yes, but that cultivator was killed by formation." Jin Qianqing didn't even finish and saw Yemo dashing to the city and disappeared. Jin Qianqing quickly followed. As soon as he came to the city, he saw one cauldron filling state, level 5, outside the formation. He was very respectful and said, "Two goddesses, my family estate lord is holding an auction. Please come by." "No need, thank you, please go." Luo Ying's pale voice sounded. "My family lord even set up spirit fruit feast and came to invite the two goddess. If you two don't go, it's hard for me to get back." The cauldron filling state kept talking. At this moment, Yemo came out with a smile. Seeing this, that cultivator's heart was throbbing with excitement. He thought he succeeded. At this moment, a cold voice sounded, "Since you can't go back, then you don't need to." Then, a cultivation essence giant hand slapped over. Hearing Yemo's voice, the cauldron-filling state was scared soulless, and before he could react, he was smashed to a bloody mist. "You're back." Luo Ying knew Yemo would be fine, but she was still worried. "Brother Yi, you're back." Jie Yokue also ran out in joy. Yemo held Luo Ying's hand and said, "MHM, let's go in first." Jie Yokue said, "These 2 days have been annoying that House Lord sends a cultivator to talk here every day about some auction or some spirit fruit fast." Yemo sneered. That family lord thought using such placid means would mean he wouldn't do anything to him. But that family lord is blind. If he was so easy to mess with, he would have long been devoured. There was no reason here. If he wasn't some cultivator who could kill Feng Xian, that family lord wouldn't use such means. He would have came out to take them by force. Many people saw that cauldron-filling state was just sending an invitation and was killed. This Yemo was too murderous. Many of them started to leave, fearing they would offend this slaughter god. Many people were laughing that truth realization state level 4 family lord was over. Many didn't Yemo to have come back. Just now a figure came up to them. It was a fat white face cultivator. He smiled and saluted with his fists. "Brother Yi, Peng Huiyang has long heard of your name, and I set up a spirit fruit feast today. Please come over." Yemo stopped him. "The cauldron-filling state I just killed belonged to you. The family lord who comes here to pester us is you too." Yemo stopped him. "The cauldron-filling state I just killed belonged to you. The family lord who comes here to pester us is you too?" Yes, my man didn't know how to talk. Thanks for taking him out for me. I wanted to connect to Brother Yi through the two goddess." "Brother Yi, please." The fat cultivator didn't even finish, and he felt his body go cold. His face changed. Before he could break free, a purple flame surrounded him and a terrifying howl sounded. The scream disappeared in the flames. When the flames disappeared, the fat figure was gone. There wasn't even storage ring left. Wang Jing, who watched on the side and sweated cold. Not long ago, he was annoyed at Peng Huiyang for not playing by the rules. The three-truth realization state, tertiary stage master, still haven't made a move yet, and he dared to attack first, but now this annoyance was gone. Yemo was back and killed another truth realization state, middle stage, in a second. Peng Huiyang couldn't even resist. Wang Jing barely calmed himself down and flew up to Yemo, saluted with his fists. "Brother Yi." That Peng Huiyang was asking to die, and I was about to take him out, but Brother Yi came back. Yemo glanced at him, and Wang Jing subconsciously froze, but he heard Yemo say plainly, "Piss off." Wang Jing's face froze. He didn't expect Yemo to be this rude. Was he wrong to come say hello? Even though his edges had been rubbed smooth, Wang Jing still felt insult. Since when was a truth realization state, level 9, insulted like this? He felt his face go hot and his anger, but when looked at Yemo's eyes again, his anger froze. He knew that if they fought in no more than 10 seconds, there would no longer be Wang Jing in this world. Realizing this, Wang Jing saluted with his fists and flew off. Wang Jing was hiding on the side and still came out to say such pretty words. Such cultivators was set to die old here. Yi Mo couldn't even be bothered talking to this two-faced guy. Jin Qianqing happened to get here and see Mo tell Wang Jing to piss off, and Wang Jing didn't dare to say anything. She immediately felt quite satisfied. Not only her, but the cultivators on the side also felt satisfied. There were so many of them oppressed by Wang Jing and Feng Xian. Qianbei, Jin Qianqing called. Yi Mo nodded, go in first. Luckily, I said to wait, that Yi Qianbei is powerful indeed, but he went to the sea corner depth to catch corner soul weed. Sigh, Xi sighed. Xian, she didn't expect a person as dominant as Yi Mo would go into the depth of the sea corner and not come back. At this moment, he almost admired Brother Ye's perceptions. But brother, wouldn't this mean we would never be able to go out? Xian, she said in discontent. If we still can't find someone to collaborate with in another 10 years, we'll go try ourselves. I really don't want to die in this place. Xian, he shook his head. Then, why? Xian, she asked in confusion. He had to persuade his brother for a long while before his brother agreed to collaborate with Yi Mo, but now it seemed his brother had long wanted to find someone to cooperate. Xian, he said heavily. Xian, you don't understand that Yi Qianbei is very murderous. He came and killed quite a few people already. Even Vice City, Lord Fengxian. If we collaborate with someone like that, we can get pulverized if we don't do it right. But that Fengxian deserves to die. I'm too weak, but if I was stronger, I would have killed him already. He took Ma Yu's wife and killed him. Ma Yu's wife suicided too. So what if he killed such a person? Xian, she said. Xian, he shook his head. I'm not saying Yi Mo was wrong to kill Fengxian, but he kills so easily. If we provide something of no value, he might immediately kill us. We just know some rules about the movement of corner soul weed and the tide in some areas. Who knows if this would be useful in going out? Xian, he just finished and got up. Xian, she got up. Clearly they saw the hustling outside. The two quickly got out and saw cultivators gathered together. What happened? Xian, she squeezed over and asked. Peng Huiyang's cultivation home was robbed. It's taken by another disaster, transformation state, level 9 now. One body condensation state, said casually. Isn't Peng Qianbei truth, realization state, middle stage? Xian asked carefully. The cultivator turned around in contempt. Truth, realization state, middle stage? He was long annihilated by Yi Qianbei. In a second, no less than a second. He doesn't use his brain. Even Fengxian was annihilated by Yi Qianbei. He's a mere truth, realization state level 4, and he dares to act up at Yi Qianbei's cultivation home. This is asking for death? What, Yi Qianbei is back? Xian, he asked in joy. Then the two looked at each other. The cultivator said loudly, How can Yi Qianbei be in trouble? Yi Qianbei's all-powerful. The mere sea corner. The Xian brothers had disappeared already, however. At this moment, Yi Mo held a jade slip in contemplation. He didn't expect the demon prison Forbidden Grounds seal was really set up by Jin Jinlin. He was forcefully taken to Luoyu cultivation realm by Lu Jingquan to set up seal and demon prison Forbidden Grounds formation. The main reason was because he immortal ascended from Luoyu continent and knew demon prison Forbidden Grounds very well. Yi Mo also realized why he would have the chance to break another seal flag after breaking one already. It was cultivation resources he left for his descendants. He left loopholes in all the seal flags, including the Blue Stone Road and Stone Tablet. The Jade Slip clearly said if his descendants didn't reach Truth Realization State Level 9 and Level 9 Formation Grandmaster Peak, they must not touch the seal flag. If they reached this level, the seal flag wouldn't explode. Only those with Jin family bloodline could use the Jade Slip. he left behind to open the seal at Demon Prison, Forbidden Grounds, and then take the immortal crystals here. He said many times for the Jin family descendants to not touch Qingsheng in the depth of the abyssal river. Jin Jinlin even thought of ways to avoid the sand soul beasts, but what confused Emo was that he didn't mention spirit devouring bugs at all. He told the family to immediately head to Gonghua Heaven and most not go Yuheng Heaven. From his jade slip, Emo realized there were 33 heavens in the immortal realm. Yuheng and Gonghua were just 2 of them. Each heaven domain had a heaven lord. Lu Jingquan was Yuheng Heaven Lord. It also recorded some rules and powers of the immortal realm. Emo didn't have the mood to look at them now. The rest of the 5 jade slips were about formation. It talked about level 1 to level 5 immortal formation. There were models too. Emo looked at it and knew he would need to spend at least a few years to study them. Emo believed Jin Qianqing's words and believed the sea corner was an immortal formation. But now that he had a chance to study the immortal formation, he wasn't going to rest his hopes on her. At this moment, his spirit sense scanned the Xan brothers. Jin Qianqing clearly saw them too and immediately said to Emo, "Yi Qianbei, the 2 people outside at the Xan brothers. If I'm not wrong, they came after hearing Qianbei was back." Emo nodded and took out a communication bead to Jia. Yokue, give these to them. Tell them to wait. I will let them know when I go. Emo didn't know what the tide flow meant yet. He had to study the jade slips first, and decided if he would need the 2 brothers. If not, he wasn't going to be a goody-goody in here. When Emo set up the spirit sense barrier formation, he went into his golden page world and took out the time formation disc. Without it, he wouldn't be able to finish studying immortal formation in a short time. When Emo set up the spirit sense barrier formation, he went into his golden page world and took out the time formation disc. Without it, he wouldn't be able to finish studying immortal formation in a short time. Sister Qianqing, did you do this to your face purposely? Jia Yokue looked at the hideous Jin Qianqing and asked. She had been here for a while and knew the situation here. Jin Qianqing nodded. Yes, if I didn't do this, I would have long died. You're lucky you came with Yi Qianbei. If you came alone like me, a tragic fate would await you. The most terrifying cultivator in the city isn't Feng Xian, but that Wang Jing. He's bad in the shadows. Feng Xian is bad overtly. Wang Jing is more vicious than Feng Xian. Everyone thinks that Feng Xian is the worst, but he isn't. How do you know? Jie Yokue asked in confusion. Jin Qianqing thought and said, I'm a level 7 Grandmaster, and in order to leave here, I often watch the rhythm of the tide at the border of the island. I'm very careful, and I usually set up a stealth formation. One day, I saw Wang Jing come here with his Dao partner. I thought they were going to hunt for corner soul weed, but then I knew they weren't. Wang Jing ambushed his Dao partner from behind and killed her. Ha! Jia Waokue said in shock and immediately said there must be a conflict between them. No. Jin Qianqing shook her head. That female cultivator was disaster transformation state. She went to Wang Jing on her own accord and became his Dao partner. She was very obedient to him. There's no way they had conflict. Plus, I know why Wang Jing killed that female cultivator. He said something before he killed her. What did he say? Jia Waokue asked desperately. Even Luoying wanted to know. There was disgust in Jin Qianqing's eyes. That Wang Jing is worse than a dog. He killed her and said, you waste too much of my spirit stones. You need 10 spirit stones to cultivate every day, so I have no choice but to send you off. Huh. Jiokue was in disbelief, killing his Dao partner for 10 spirit stones a day? 10 spirit stones wasn't enough to recover cultivation essence for a disaster transformation state cultivator. This was unimaginable that a truth realization state cultivator would do this. Worse than a pig. Even Luoying frowned and cursed. Jin Qianqing shook her head. This isn't the worst. The rawest is that he pretended he was heavily injured and came back to the city holding a massive funeral for his Tao partner, grieving that she died in the corner soul weed. He said he was heavily injured, trying to save his Tao partner. He would trade his life for his Tao partner's. I'll ask Brother Yi to kill this animal. Jiayokue got up angrily. Yimo was studying immortal formation in the time formation disk, and it's been a year, and Yimo finally understood what tide flow was. It was a type of immortal formation flags, positioning, using the environment to change the location of the formation flag while using these positions to change the formation. It was a common method of immortal formations. No wonder Jin Qianqing said that one must know the rule of the tide flow to go out. If you could find one of the rules, you could find a formation flag and use that to calculate the position of the second formation flag. This was like the Sand River in West Extreme State. If he found one seal flag, he could find the second one. But the tide flow was a changing rule. So 50 years wasn't just bare minimum time needed to find it. Thinking how the Xian brothers were only less than 500 years old and both body condensation state, could they really find the rule? If they didn't, then Yimo knew he would have to find it himself. It wasn't practicable for Yimo to spend a few decades to watch it. Yimo was worried that since this palsy was an immortal formation, it would be very hard to tear open space here. The only way was to find the formation door. Yimo sighed. Even if the Xian brothers knew the tide flow rude, Jin Qianqing was unreliable. She only could tell this was an immortal formation, but she was just a level 7 formation grandmaster. It was impossible for her to find the way out of the immortal formation. It seemed he still needed to rely on himself. Yimo focused his mind and completely devoted himself to studying immortal formation, and even took out immortal crystals for experiments. The city calmed down, and no one dared to go near Yimo's place to walk around. A month later, the time formation disk stopped moving, and Yimo happened to wake up at this time. He looked at the used-up spirit stones. He didn't dare to believe he was in solitary cultivation for 9 years. He used at most this much time to reach from level 1 formation master to level 9 formation grandmaster, and yet he used this much time to reach level 1 immortal formation master. Luckily, it would be faster to reach level 2 immortal formation master from now. The immortal formation means were completely different to the cultivation realm formation means. Of course, everyone had different means based on their understanding of formation. Yimo was just using the formation theory of Jin Jinlins and birthed his own formation means, but it was a bit hard as he hadn't been in the immortal realm. Yimo walked out of the room and found only Luoying was studying pills. Jin Qianqing and Jiayokue weren't here. Seeing Yimo come out, Luoying quickly got up and said, "You're doing looking at those things?" "Yes, I have an approximate understanding. We can go out." "Where's Yokue and Jin Qianqing?" Yimo held Luoying's hand and asked. Yokue was bored and asked Jin Qianqing to go with her to the market. Luoying said. Yimo was speechless. There was no point in going there. There was no good things. Here, he casually put away his cultivation artifact, cultivation home, and was prepared to leave here. Before Yimo made a notice, Jin Qianqing, Jiayokue, and the Xian brothers were here. They immediately asked me up to greet Yimo. He was robust and seemed innocent, but he was very cunning. He said, without need Yimo to ask, "My brother and I have been here for 90 years. Ever since we got here, we've been thinking of all ways to go out. We're weak, but we know some of the rules of how the corner soul we'd move in the southeast direction and some of the tide times at the island. Southeast." Yimo repeated. There was no sense of direction here. How did they know? "Xian," she said in embarrassment, "Yi Qianbei, we just set up the directions ourselves in order to convenience our observations." Good method. Yimo raised his thumb. But there was a flaw in this way. Using experience to judge may result in error. The compass used formation to point the way, but compasses didn't work here. This made Yi Mo think of a thing that wouldn't point with formation. He took out an exquisite hairbrush. Brother Yi, you have a brush? Jie Yoku-e could tell it was for girls to use. Yi Mo saw Luoing come over and smiled apologetically to her. I met a girl near a flowing snake called Chi Wanqing. She went missing in Luoyu continent. Yi Mo saw Luoing come over and smiled apologetically to her. I met a girl near flowing snake called Chi Wanqing. She went missing in Luoyu continent. Yi Mo sighed. He was worried about where Chi Wanqing went. Luoing was a little uncomfortable, but hearing this explanation, she immediately said, I know Chi Wanqing. She came over with Sister Ahua, but we don't know where she is. We need to go find her if we have the time. Yi Mo's tone was dejected. I didn't find her in North Far State, nor West Extreme State. South P State is too big. I believe if she is in South P State, she would have been able to hear about MOU City. She didn't come over. I'm afraid she isn't in South P State. Luoing went up and held his hand. Don't worry, just like me, I had been in Black Ice sect cultivating and never cared about what happened outside. If I wasn't with Bei Wei, I wouldn't even know you were at South P State. Maybe Chi Wanqing is like me. She would be able to come to MOU City when she is strong enough. Yi Mo nodded. She gave me this hairbrush. There's a telephone number on it. It's also a military compass. Oh, this is a compass. Jie Yoku-e squeezed over looking at the small thing embedded in the hairbrush. Luoing smiled. Yes, it always points to the south. So this direction is south? Jie Yoku-e pointed at the small pointer. Yi Mo shook his head. Not necessarily. This compass is made based on magnetic field theory. The direction it points on Luoyu isn't necessarily south, but the direction wouldn't change, and it wouldn't be affected by the formation here like the formation compass. Seeing Yi Mo take out something that could point directions, Xian walked over nervously. Yi Qianbei, then Yi Mo waved his hand. Your experience is very good. I'm willing to collaborate with you guys. Let's go together. Then Yi Mo released Blue Moon. Get on, we'll leave the sea corner now. As soon as Blue Moon activated, a dashing light came. Yi Mo looked at the person. Brother Gu, are you coming with us? Gu Hezhou shook his head. I know I don't have a way to persuade you to stay. Many cultivators who thought they could leave left, and there was no news of them ever again. Then cultivators who came in again say they didn't make it out. I can only wish you success. Brother Yi, take care. Gu Hezhou admired Yi Mo greatly for being able to come back from the depth of the sea corner, but he didn't think Yi Mo could get out. Gu Hezhou thought of his own life too seriously. Yi Mo was planning to give him a bottle of pills before he left, but when Peng Huiyang sent people to harass Luoing and Jie Yoku-e, he didn't even come help. Yi Mo laughed. In that case, I'm going to take care. Then, Blue Moon disappeared from the city. Seeing this, there was a faint sense of regret. He couldn't describe it. He felt that he should have gone with Yi Mo. Seeing this, Wang Jing breathed easy. His face was gloomy but pity. He knew that even if Yi Mo slapped his face, he wouldn't be able to do anything to Yi Mo. He glared at Gu Hezhou. If he didn't always spend his time in the sea corner, he would want to take revenge on him. Blue Moon didn't fly very far and stopped at the border of the island. Yi Mo took out a jade slip to Xian, inscribed the rule you know and the title situation. Xian handed a jade slip he prepared already to Yi Mo. Qianbei, I've already recorded it. Please have a look. Yi Mo nodded. He was very happy with this Xian. Countless years and countless cultivators had been trapped here. Some of them would know more than the Xian brothers, but none of them made it out. Even the Xian brothers might eventually die of old age or to the corner soul weed here. Compared to them, at least they tried to go out. These more powerful cultivators like Wang Jing had a sliver of chance, but if they've given up the will to go out, they killed that last line of hope for themselves. Yi Mo looked at the jade slip and checked it out himself before giving it to Jin Qianqing. Then he controlled Blue Moon to flying slowly into the depth. The Exian brothers have always been watching here and could tell the EMO was flying towards the direction they found through the rule and rejoiced. At least the news they provided was useful. But soon they felt something wrong. Blue Moon went faster and faster. Eventually it was faster than extreme, grade, cultivation artifact. Seeing this, their hearts hung up and even regretted. This Yi Qianbei didn't buy into anyone at the city due to his power, and even in here he was this impulsive. The corner soul weed wouldn't care who you are. If they continued like this, they would be killed by the corner soul weed. Now, they were flying far from the direction they studied. Regardless if Yemo was seeking death, the Exian brothers knew they wouldn't be able to leave even if they studied here for 1,000 years. Thinking about this, they just admitted to fate. Jin Qianqing was also completely lost too. Yemo was overjoyed, however. He found that the Exian brothers' rule only applied to a few hundred kilometers, and they weren't able to leave here with that. But soon he found that the compass pointed in the direction of the corner soul weed flow. The tidal flow was completely useless. This meant he didn't even need to look at their jade slip and just keep flying using the compass. What shook Yemo was that he found when heading in this direction, no matter how fast he was, no corner soul weed came over. Sometimes the corner soul weed was clearly about to ram into Blue Moon, but it suddenly changed direction. An ordinary cultivator would be overjoyed, but Yemo was annoyed. He was planning to collect more corner soul weed on the way, but he couldn't catch even one. Yemo kept changing directions, but he was only following the compass as the needle kept changing directions. An ordinary compass had such effect. Yemo was overjoyed. Soon the brothers and Jin Qianqing found that no matter how fast Yemo went, they didn't smash into corner soul weed no matter what. The Exian brothers were overjoyed. It seemed Yi Qianbei really knew how to get out. Jin Qianqing admired Yi Mo even more. She knew from Jieyokue that Yi Mo was a level 9 formation grandmaster, and now Yi Mo used just 9 days looking at the jade slips left behind by her ancestor and found a way out. Yi Mo didn't think so. He felt this wasn't just a formation. He would rather think this was a high-level natural formation than an immortal formation. The sea corner didn't seem big when they came in, but when they left it seemed huge. 1 day later, Blue Moon turned 180 degrees and kept flying as though they were flying back. Yi Qianbei, are we going around in circles here? Jin Qianqing finally couldn't resist asking. No, Yi Mo said affirmatively. He was taken directionless by the compass, but he knew they weren't going around in circles. No, Yi Mo said affirmatively. He was taken directionless by the compass, but he knew they weren't going around in circles. This was more than one blue moon had turned 180 degrees. Other than Luo and the rest of the people were starting to think Blue Moon was going in circles. On the 4th day, a huge coral appeared before them. Only now did they realize that Blue Moon really didn't go in circles. But Yi Mo soon found that even if Blue Moon left this coral, the compass was pointing here. This meant that he would still be brought back here. Everyone else realized this problem and looked at Yi Mo. Yi Mo carefully released his spirit sense out and checked before saying, "This isn't necessarily an immortal formation. Even if it is, it wouldn't be lower than level 6. This isn't something we can break out of." Ha! Jin Qianqing was dumbfounded. This meant that even if her ancestor was here, they might not be able to get out. Yi Mo put away Qi Wanqing's brush and said, "The sea corner is probably a sealed-off dimension. If you want to leave, you would have to tear open space." Hearing this, they looked at each other. Tear open space? To be able to tear open the space in the cultivation realm, one must be more powerful than Hollow Immortal. Was this something a cultivation realm cultivator could do? And even if you're extremely powerful, you wouldn't be able to tear open space at other places. The only possibility is here. Yi Mo pointed at the coral. His power was beyond Hollow Immortal and had been to the void fissure. Yi Mo continued, "This space isn't necessarily to another realm. It might quite possibly lead to the Heartless Sea, but the stability of this space is no lower than any void space. Brother Yi, how do you know? If we really need to tear open space, what do we do? My dad said those cultivators who can tear open space are very rare, powerful beings, Jiayokue said. Yi Emo smiled and didn't know how to reply. He had a feeling that outside here was the Heartless Sea, but he couldn't explain this. If it wasn't for the compass, we wouldn't be able to come here, but now that we are, I can try. Yi Emo saw the other people except Luoing look at him in confusion, clearly not thinking he would be able to tear open space. Yi Emo signaled everyone to go into Blue Moon and threw out a few formation flags. He set up acceleration formation and then used all of his cultivation essence and spirit sense and grabbed. Ripples invisible to the eye spread out and Blue Moon shaked. Everyone felt the surroundings shake as though Blue Moon was about to fall into an endless abyss. The space was shaking greater and greater until there was a low humming sound. Yimo's face grew more and more pale. He thought since Chujiu could tear open space, he would be fine, but now that he tried, he realized how hard it was. Luckily, he could still feel the space barrier. Weaker cultivators wouldn't even be able to feel it. Open! Yi Emo roared and a light crack sounded. A black crevice was torn open by Yi Emo. Before they could react, Yi Emo took Blue Moon and darted in through the acceleration formation. Then, Blue Moon disappeared and the void fissure closed. A mere truth realization state level 8 little guy is already absurd enough to be able to find here. I didn't expect he would be able to tear open the dimensional barrier here. A blue-robed cultivator appeared on the rock when Blue Moon disappeared. There seemed to be a binding on him that even spirit sense couldn't see, making him unable to leave here. After a long while, he laughed. Jue, you can't blame me. He found here himself, and before I even woke up, he tore open the space barrier. You are to blame yourself. This space barrier can't even stop a truth realization state level 8. Hee. I'll pretend I saw nothing and go back to sleep. Heartless Sea, this is the Heartless Sea. XNY looked at the sea surface and breathed the spirit chi-filled air. The Xian brothers and Jin Qianqing were ready to die with EMO, but they really succeeded. Yi Qianbei, I didn't expect you to be able to leave the sea corner so easily. Jin Qianqing, thank you for saving my life. Jin Qianqing was shaking with emotions. After their excitement, Xian kneeled down to Yi Mo. Yi Qianbei, Wanbei's life is yours now. If you don't mind us, Wanbei will go back and bring my wife to follow Qianbei. Yi Mo approved of Xian Yi's meticulous and careful attitude, but he didn't want them to follow. He let them get up and said, I just casually helped, plus you guys helped a lot too. I thought we brothers were going to die at the sea corner, but Qianbei left so easily. Xian, he was too excited. Easy. If he didn't have their experience, Jin Qianqing's jade slip and Qi Wanqing's brush, would he be able to leave? Even if that was all satisfied, Yi Mo didn't know that if the blue-robed guy wanted to stop him, he wouldn't be able to get out as well. It seemed easy to others when he tore open the dimension, but he was God's state body refinement. His cultivation essence was on par with hollow immortal cultivator. Even so, he almost spat blood tearing the barrier open. Only Luoing knew Yimo's hardship and quietly asked him, Are you okay? I'm fine. Just some cultivation essence backlash. I'll be good. Yi Mo patted Luoying's hand. He knew that Luoying seemed the calmest, but her emotions to him were on par in intensity as Ning Qingxue. She always hid the intensity in front of others. Where is Qianbei going? Xian, she wanted to follow Yi Mo even more. Solo cultivators like them would have much better cultivation environment if they found a good sect. Yi Mo was a master he had never seen before, and his temperament was super. Those two truth realization state level 9 in the city were trash compared to him. Yi Mo smiled. I'm going to East Black State. If you're going to East Black State, I can take you there. If you want to go South Peace State, you can come with me too. After I'm done with East Black State, I'll be going back to South Peace State. Before they replied, Jin Qianqing bowed. Qianbei. Wanbei wishes to follow Qianbei back to South Peace State. Emo waved his hand. No problem. After I'm done with East Black State, we can go back together. We might even take the teleportation formation back. Xian, she said, excitedly. Qianbei, we're going to East Black State. My big brother needs to pick up his wife. If Qianbei is willing, we will follow Qianbei back to South Peace State together. South Peace State, Spirit Chi, was so much better than East Black State. Xian, she knew that their power was quite good at East Black State, but it was nothing at South Peace State. Of course, I have a city in South Peace State called MOU City. You can settle there. Yi Mo agreed without hesitation. I know where this is, Jie Yokue said. This is the east side of Lost Soul Ruins. A little bit down is Mai Zhu In Island. Jie Yokue said desperately and looked at Yemo. Clearly she wanted to go check it out. This is the east side of Lost Soul Ruins. A little bit down is Mai Zhu In Island. Jie Yokue said desperately and looked at Yemo. Clearly she wanted to go check it out. Yemo didn't expect to come to here. Everyone looked back. There was no sign of Sea Corner. The Sea Corner was indeed everywhere. No one would know where it would appear. Yokue, lead the way. We'll go see Zhu In Island. Yemo knew what Jie Yokue meant and said. This was the first time coming to Zhu In Island, but Yemo approved of Jie Feng greatly. He didn't know what it looked like before, but it definitely wasn't like this. The island was full of craters, and there was a huge ravine showing that the spirit range here was taken away. Jie Yokue flew onto the island and started crying at the ruins. She had been living here for a few decades, but now it turned into this. Her father wasn't not known if alive, and so were her sisters. Luo Ying and Jin Qianqing went down to comfort her. Yemo and Xan brothers came down too. From the position of the island, Yemo could tell it was definitely an extremely good place to cultivate in the Heartless Sea. However, this Yuzijin was really cruel, damaging it like this. I'm going to get revenge with that woman. Jie Yokue couldn't hold the anger in her heart and clenched her fists. But Yemo felt Jie Feng wasn't necessarily killed by Yuzijin. He hadn't seen Jie Feng fight, but he knew Jie Feng wasn't simple. He was definitely no match for Yuzijin, but it was quite possible he was able to escape from her. Jie Yokue asked Yemo to seal the island with a formation and add essence blood verification, allowing only people from the Jie family to enter. Then she left a jade slip inside, tell her family to go look for her at South Peace State, MOU City. Yemo was originally planning to look for trouble with Yuzijin, but now that she said this, she would lose motivation to cultivate if he annihilated Peng Island. He would teach the spirit sense cultivation method to Jie Yokue. As for if she would be strong enough to take on Yuzijin, Yemo knew that despite Yuzijin being powerful, he believed that Jie Yokue wouldn't be weaker than her after his tutelage. It was probably impossible for Jie Yokue to get revenge in the cultivation realm, as she probably ascended already, but at least Jie Yokue could go annihilate her Peng Island. Blue Moon sped up after leaving the island, and the Xan brothers finally realized that Blue Moon was at its max speed before. With such speed, it probably wouldn't take long from East Black State to South Peace State. They were guessing what level Blue Moon was, half a mortal artifact or a mortal artifact. Blue Moon held past. The spirit beasts on the side long hid away, seeing Blue Moon's speed. Good flying magic artifact was eye-catching, but if it was too good, it would make people scared. Without enough power, who would dare to waltz around the Heartless Sea with it? The Xian brothers didn't stay inside to rest. They stood on the deck the entire month. Their hearts were filled with excitement and this indescribable feeling. When they came to the Heartless Sea, they had to be careful, fearing they would be caught by high-level cultivators or spirit beast. But now, they arrogantly held past in the sky without hiding at all. This was power. They couldn't describe their admiration for Yemo with words. They had made up their mind to follow Yemo to South Peace State to cultivate. There were a few high-level spirit beast and even a level 11 spirit beast, as well as few truth realization state cultivators, but none dared to stop Blue Moon. They wouldn't even be able to stop it in the first place as well. A month later, 6 cultivators acme to a south coastal city of East Black State. 3 men and 3 women. They were Yi-Mo and them, and they arrived at Chitong City. They came here because the Xian brothers had a merchant association here. They were finding resources here all the time, and when they were strong enough, they just set up their own merchant association. The 2 left the city in adventure and accidentally went into the sea corner. Big brother, why did Ishi Merchant Association change names? Xian, she looked at the Gung Mei Merchant Association sign and asked. Xian, frowned. They had been out for 100 years, but in the cultivation realm there were cases where the owner of the Merchant Association had been gone for more than 1,000 years. Go in and ask. Xian, frowned. They weren't there, but there were their men. His Dao partner would manage this place too. Something must have happened. Xian and Xian she walked in, but it was an attendant. They didn't know who greeted them. Xian dazed and immediately asked, where is the owner of this merchant association? Seeing Xian why I was much more stronger than him, he said politely, friend, if you need anything you can ask me. Xian 11 asked, isn't this place Ishi Merchant Association? Why did it become Gung Mei Merchant Association? The attendant quickly said the name was changed by the boss. I don't know why the change occurred. Xian and Xian 11 glanced at each other and said, call out your owner or we will smash this place. Yes, I'll call immediately. The attendant quickly sent a message. After a long while, 2 cultivators got down, 1 male, 1 female. The male immediately looked at Luo Ying and his eyes couldn't move again. Yi-Mo frowned. He was very annoyed. Lu Shuanging, what happened? Why are you in my shop? When did my shop become yours? Xian, she cursed. This Lu Shuanging was their enemy. The cultivator only now saw Xian 11 and his face changed. His eyes blinked, not knowing what to say. Brother! Xian, she just realized that Xian Yi's hands were bursting with veins as he stared at that female cultivator. He reacted and called sister-in-law. You guys are back. The female cultivator said bitterly and didn't do anything. Yi-Mo heard Xian she say that his brother and sister-in-law's relationship was very good. Xian, he was thinking of his wife everywhere, but they came back and met in such a way. Xian Y's face was green, and after a moment, he spat blood. Xian, she quickly held him. Brother, are you okay? Even if the Merchant Association is taken away, we can take it back. Plus, we don't need it now. We're going with Yi Qianbei to South Peace State. We don't need this shitty Merchant Association. Nothing to be angry about. Xian, he didn't say anything. This female cultivator was his Dao partner Wu Mei. They had been together for 100 years. How could he not know her? Her ears were red and breathing heavy. This meant she just had sex with someone else. She was like this every time they had sex. He didn't come back for 100 years, and this happened. How could he not be furious? This was a huge irony to their past affection. Wu Mei, very well, very well. Xian Yi's hands were shaking uncontrollably. That woman who kept saying she couldn't leave him at all. The woman who thought for him about everything not only gave his shop away, but to his enemy. Xian 11 immediately realized that Lu Shuanging not only took their shop and got together with sister-in-law. This made Xian she burst out in fury and released his magic artifact. In that instant, Xian she's magic artifact shot a dark ray at Lu Shuanging. He was body condensation state level 7. Xian she was only body condensation state level 4. He definitely was no match for Lu Shuanging. In that instant, Xian she's magic artifact shot a dark ray at Lu Shuanging. He was body condensation state level 7. Xian she was only body condensation state level 4. He definitely was no match for Lu Shuanging. Seeing this, Lu Shuanging sneered. He wasn't scared of XIN-11 at all. He stayed at the same power while he reached body condensation state level 7. A mere body condensation state, middle stage, dared to fight him a body condensation state, tertiary stage? He released a dark ring. In his eyes, the XN brothers were lonely ghosts. Since they got caught in his hands, he wasn't going easy. He sneered, XAN, I slept your woman, so what? He was about to release his magic artifact, but then he opened his mouth in shock. He found he completely couldn't move and could only watch as XIN's magic artifact loomed over him. At this moment, how could XIN not know YMO was helping him? He fully activated his magic artifact without any defense. The female cultivator on the side also realized something was wrong. He was hoping Lu Shuanging would kill the brothers, and she wouldn't feel guilty, but now she saw Lu Shuanging couldn't move. She quickly called, "Stop, he's 8-star sect Chongqing sect's elder's personal disciple. You can't." But before she finished, XN's magic artifact tore open Lu Shuanging. Bloody sprayed everywhere. XIN-11 couldn't completely obliterate people like YMO, but he felt this was more satisfying. An essence spirit flew out from Lu Shuanging's body, but before it charged out very far it was devoured by a black figure. It was shadowless. Yi Mo disliked this Lu Shuanging, so he gave his essence spirit to Shadowless. "Bitch!" XAN, she looked coldly at Wu Mei and said. Wu Mei's face was white, and she said shakily, "This isn't my fault. You went out for more than 100 years. How can I hold this merchant association together alone? I could only work with someone." "Bullshit, work with someone in bed? Shameless wretch. Big Brother was thinking of you every day, and came back to pick you up." XIN, she spat. XIN, he suddenly shook his head. XIN, she don't say anymore. We've already wasted a lot of Yi Qianbei's time. Let's go. There's nothing left for me to cherish here. Go. You killed my Chongqing sect members, and you want to leave? A cold voice sounded. The XIN brothers just realized that outside the shop was filled with cultivators. A long-haired cultivator walked in and looked coldly at the XIN brothers. Wu Mei looked down in embarrassment, seeing this cultivator. "Mei, come over, who killed my disciple." "Never mind, I'll kill them all. Remember, it's Chu Liang from Chongqing sect who killed you." The long-hair cultivator scanned them, and then he saw Luo Ying and Jie Yokue. Then he couldn't take his eyes off them anymore. Seeing this, how could XIN not know that this woman slept with master and disciple? He howled into the sky. XIN was blind to love a filthy bitch like you. Killing you is dirtying my hands. Piss off. Wu Mei, who had some regret, heard this and lost her sense of regret. She said coldly, "I don't owe you anything. You have no right to say this to me." XIN, he didn't reply. It was as though Wu Mei was just air. Wu Mei sneered. Yi Mo scanned Chu Liang's eyes, and there was contempt on his face, a mere disaster transformation state, level 3, and he dares to say shit. XIN-11, go kill him. XIN, she heard this, and immediately answered, "Yes, Yi Qianbei." Yi Mo killed truth realization state, level 9 easily. This disaster transformation state, Elder dared to act cocky to him. He released his magic artifact and snarled, "Remember, the one who killed you is XIN-11." Then he pierced his magic artifact like he did to Lu Shuanging. Everyone was dazed. A body condensation state cultivator dared to attack Chu Liang and say such cocky words. Was his brain disabled? Chu Liang laughed in fury. "I want to see how you're going to kill me." But like Lu Shuanging, he only said half a sentence, and there was terror in his eyes. He clearly saw XIN's magic artifact attack him, but he couldn't resist at all. "Domain Truth Realization State Cultivator," Chu Liang said. Splurge. Blood exploded out. No matter how powerful a disaster transformation state cultivator was, if he couldn't move at all being bound by Yimo's domain, even a golden core state cultivator could kill him. An essence spirit flew out and was also gobbled by Shadowless. Wu Mei looked dazedly at her two men being killed by Xan, she not believing Xan she was this powerful. Let's go. Yi Emo shook his head and said, Haha, brother, people really encounter people everywhere in life. A blue shirt man called out and saluted with his fists. Yi Emo immediately recognized this cultivator and saluted with his fists happily. Brother Fu, people indeed meet everywhere. Fu Wu was a friend Yi Emo met in the small world. He saved Ji Mei due to him, and this woman wanted to follow Yi Emo. The three drank together, and Ji Mei became his maid. She had deep calculations, and Yi Emo had forgotten about this woman, but Fu Wu was a worthy friend. His ideal was to walk through all the famous mountains and lands. Now that he was at East Black State, did he still believe so too? I didn't expect brother Yi would always be ahead of me. In the Hang Shui city in the small world. You are much stronger than me, and here you're still much stronger than me. Fu Wu laughed, but he didn't seem unhappy at all. Before Yi Emo could reply, he said, Let's go find a place to drink. These people are. Yi Emo simply introduced everyone. Fu Wu's character immediately got everyone's good impression. Jin Qianqing kept looking at Fu Wu, but pity his power was too weak. Only nascent soul state. They found a spirit rest tower, and Fu Wu said to Yi Emo, I wanted to find you before, but you left the small world and I came to East Black State. I thought I would never be able to see you again, but I saw you now. I can tell you this now. Yi Emo took out a 10,000-year stalagmite marrow wine and took out 7 cups, pouring some for everyone. Brother Fu, please continue. Fu Wu's face turned serious. Brother, Yi, I heard you were looking for a woman called Mu Xiaoyan in the small world. She's a sect members of the Ice Lake, is this true? Yi Emo got up suddenly and grabbed Fu Wu's hands in excitement. That's right, Brother Fu. Mu Xiaoyan is my wife. Where is she? Even Luo Ying got up in excitement. She knew Mu Xiaoyan's place in Yi Mo's heart. She wouldn't be lower than them. Yi Emo missed Mu Xiaoyan as much as Yi Mo. Even Luo Ying got up in excitement. She knew Mu Xiaoyan's place in Yi Mo's heart. She wouldn't be lower than them. Yi Emo missed Mu Xiaoyan as much as Yi Mo. Fu Wu waved his hand and said, Brother, Yi, don't worry. You won't be able to find her now even if you go. When I heard about brother Yi searching all over the small world for Mu Xiaoyan, I took notice. Once I heard 2 ordinary martial artists collecting herbs talking about the magical continent sect tournament and then the Ice Lake. One of them said he saw the Ice Lake chariot go into Liangji Valley and he hid on the side, not daring to talk. Yi Mo got up suddenly and said shakily, You're that old bitch of Ice Lake, didn't go back to Ice Lake and went to Liangji Valley on the way. At this moment, Yi Emo realized why he didn't find anyone coming back to Ice Lake. That old woman already had plans. Luckily, he left Xiaoyan a necklace and some pills. Hopeful that old woman sought death herself. Yes. Fu Wu said seriously, I later asked those 2, and they led me to the place. I searched there for an entire day, but I didn't find any way out. I really didn't get it. I trust those 2 wouldn't lie to me. But now I think I understand there's probably some teleportation formation inside. Yi Emo fell silent, no wonder. He couldn't find Mu Xiaoyan in the small world. She was taken away by that old woman of Ice Lake. She definitely did this for Xiaoyun's cultivation method. Yi Emo really wanted to go back to the small world and look at that valley, but he knew that it was impossible. Luo Ying came over and held Yi Mo's hand, saying, Xiaoyan is lucky, she'll be fine. There will be a day for reunion. You've been back to Earth already. It's not impossible for you to go small world. We'll think of a way when we go back. Yi Emo sighed and looked at Luo Ying, saying, Thank you, Susu. Then Yi Emo forcefully set aside Xiaoyan's things, and then saluted with his fists to Fu Wu. Brother Fu, thanks for bringing me this news. I'm staying at South Peace State. I'm here to do some things here. If you're willing, you can come with me to South Peace State, MOU City, to cultivate the spirit chi there is very abundant. Fu Wu saluted with his fists and smiled. Thank you, Brother Yi, but I like journeying around. The East Black State Spirit Chi might not be as good as South Peace State, but I'm living quite happily here. If I'm tired of playing one day, perhaps I'll go find Brother Yi at South Peace State. Yi Mo was expecting this. Yi Mo was planning to give him some things, but now he changed his mind. Fu Wu reached nascent soul state in this time without joining any sect meant that he had his fortune. Perhaps he found a heritage ruin during his journeys. The group started drinking and conversing. Good wine, this is really good. Someone in the Spirit Rest Tower suddenly walked over to Yimo's table and sniffed. Then he added, Is this made with 10,000 year stalagmite marrow? Using this to make wine. Too wasteful. This cultivator had messy hair and held a wine bottle. Clearly he loved drinking, but his power was disaster transformation state level 9. If it was some other time, he would invite this guy to drink, but he didn't have the mood. The messy-haired cultivator saw that the strongest on the table was only Jin Qianqing, cauldron-filling state. Yi Mo and the female cultivator next to him was very young. He couldn't see Yi Mo's power level. Theoretically, he was a disaster transformation state Qianbei and came to ask for a cup of wine. It should be fine. But these Wanbei pretended they didn't know. This made him longing and annoyed. He admired the courage that they dared to take such wine to drink publicly. Just when he wanted to talk, a powerful force loomed over the Spirit Rest Tower. 5 cultivators came in to where Yi Mo was. The disaster transformation state cultivator's face changed and saluted with his fists, so it's Shangqing sect leader Yu Jinan, great elder Yu Mian. The leading 2 were disaster transformation state peak stage. Hearing this, Yi Mo knew they were here for Chu Liang. They came quite quickly. It had only been half an hour. One long-faced cultivator heard this and said bleakly, Ran Fushi, you have nothing to do with the murder of Elder Chu Liang, right? If not, you don't need to leave. Hearing this, Ran Fushi realized what was going on, but clearly he was no timid cultivator. He sneered, Chongqing sect is so dominant. Chu Liang is a mere disaster transformation state primary stage cultivator. He's not worth my time. Don't overestimate yourself. Chongqing sect is only an 8-star sect. It's only so to me. If you want to take a piss over me like that, it's not enough. The long-faced cultivator realized Ran Fushi was not involved, but his tone was too annoying. Just when he wanted to say something, the middle-aged man next to him stopped him and saluted with his fists. Since Brother Ran has nothing to do with this, then please go. Our sect is going to carnage today. Ran Fushi realized the sect was here for the people drinking the wine. He immediately pointed at Yi Mo and them in confusion. Sect leader Yu, is it because they're drinking wine made from 10,000 year stalagmite marrow, so you want to use an excuse to kill them? This excuse is too shitty. Sect leader Yu heard this and said coldly, If Brother Ran wants to intervene, we will take it. Then he looked over at Yi Mo's table. If Ran Fixie didn't say it, he really wouldn't know the wine was made from 10,000 year stalagmite wine. Ran Fushi looked at Yi Mo and them and sat on the side. I'm just drinking my wine at this Spirit Rest Tower. What you want to do has nothing to do with. He knew that he was not yet a match for the Chongqing sect. He was pitying the bottle of wine on Yi Mo's table. The long-haired cultivator walked up to Yi Mo and them saying coldly, A few insects dare to ambush my Chongqing sect elder. You're asking to die. Yi Mo was in a bad mood, and these few cultivators dared to annoy him. He yelled, Piss off. The long-haired cultivator couldn't take it and grabbed at Yi Mo, but his hand stopped mid-air halfway. Before he could look surprised, a cultivation essence giant hand covered his body already. Truth realization, the long-haired cultivator said this and was crushed to nothing by Yi Mo's cultivation essence giant hand. Seeing Yi Mo kill a disaster transformation state peak stage elder in one move, everyone was shook. The sect leader instantly realized that they were starting trouble with a truth realization state cultivator. Cold sweat dripped down from his face. Ran Fushi looked dazedly at Yemo. He finally realized why he dared to take out that wine and drink. He was a truth realization state cultivator. There weren't many truth realization states in the entire East Black State. Yet, he was enticed by the wine and dared to ask for wine from truth realization state. He wasn't afraid of Chongqing sect, as he knew even if they ganged up on him, he could run away, but how could he run from truth realization state? Qianbei, Wanbei Chongqing sect, leader Yuejin. Greet Qianbei. Please forgive me for offending Qianbei, sect leader said shakily. Yuan Jian wouldn't expect to randomly meet a truth realization state in this small city. East Black State was a little stronger than North Far State, that was it. Chongqing sect was first grade sect, and the death of a disaster transformation state elder was huge, so all of them came out, but instead they encountered a truth realization state cultivator. Yuan Jian wouldn't expect to randomly meet a truth realization state in this small city. East Black State was a little stronger than North Far State, that was it. Chongqing sect was first grade sect, and the death of a disaster transformation state elder was huge, so all of them came out, but instead they encountered a truth realization state cultivator. Piss off. Yi Mo really didn't have the mood to kill anymore. Chongqing sect's power was too powerful to East Black State. They were used to being cocky. No matter how many he killed, the sect would still be like this. If this was South Peace State, would an 8-star sect dare to be this cocky? This was the same as the 9-star sects in South Peace State. Hearing this, Yuan Jian almost knelt down. He quickly bowed and retreated. Yuan Jian's face looked bad, and he said to the other 3, "Go back to the sect immediately and find Meng Qianbei and Huang Qianbei." Hearing this, they knew the sect leader wasn't going to settle with this, so they left. Ran Fushi knew that truth realization state wasn't someone he could mess with, so he quickly went up and saluted with his fists. Wanbei Ran Fushi didn't know it was truth realization state Qianbei. Please forgive me for my offense. Yi Mo didn't have the mood to drink with him, but he felt this person was good, so he poured out some wine. You can have this. Ran Fushi was dazed. He didn't expect would give him some. He wanted to reject, but it was too enticing to him. Yi Mo didn't have the mood to chat. He got up and said, "Let's go and finish the things and go back to South Peace State." Ran Fushi just realized that this Qianbei came from South Peace State. "Yi Qianbei, will you be passing by here when you leave? If you do, I will wait for you and Sister Luoing here." Jin Qianqing felt Yi Mo had personal matters to deal with. It wasn't good for her to follow them everywhere. The Xian brothers also realized this. Xian quickly said, "Sister Jean is right. If Yi Qianbei is busy, we can wait here." Only Jiao Kuei was too naive and didn't want to stay here. Yi Mo knew what they meant and waved his hand. "Let's go together. I'm just going to visit an old place." Seeing this, Fu Wu bid farewell. Blue Moon dashed towards Magical Herb Sect. It didn't fly very fast. It's Hidden Sword Sect. Xian, she pointed at a big sect. Yi Mo, dazed and subconsciously asked Hidden Sword Sect, "That 8-star sect? Sect leader is Bian Xiangxin?" Luoying smiled, "Yes. East Black State has 3 8-star sects and 1 9-star sections. The other 8-star sect is Dongliang sect. They are the strongest, and Hidden Sword Sect is the weakest." Yes, now that Chongqing sect lost 2 disaster transformation state cultivators to Yi Qianbei, Hidden Sword Sect might surpass them. Xian, she nodded. This was Bian Fengta's sect. He said his fiancée got with martial brother Yaoshan, and his father helped Yaoshan instead. He left the sect in fury and crossed the Heartless Sea. Bian Fengta was disaster, transformation state, level 1 now, but Yi Mo knew he hadn't forgotten about his fiancée Qirong. He just didn't want to say it. Erda and Da Tong were both Yi Mo's friends, and now that he was at Erda's home, Yi Mo was going to check it no matter what. He said to Luoying, "This is Erda's sect. Bian Xiangxin is Erda's father. I'm going to see and tell him he's fine." Blue Moon landed on the outskirts of the sect. As an 8-star sect, its sect looked very grand, on par with South Peace State sections. The spirit chi here was very dense. There was at least a top-grade spirit range below it. Chien Bais, please hold up. As sect members stopped Yi Mo and them. Yi Mo saluted with his fists. I'm friends with Bien Fingta. I came here to visit sect leader Bien. Please notify for me. The sect members heard this and didn't show much hospitality and studied them with a strange look instead. After a while, he said, the sect leader now is sect leader Lei. The old sect leader has deceased. Marshal Brother Bien has left the sect for decades and isn't in the sect now. Hearing this, Yi Mo frowned. Bien Fingta's father was the sect leader and disaster transformation state, level 8 power. He wasn't very old. He was far from the end of his life span. How could he suddenly die? What is it? A cold voice sounded as 2 female cultivator came out from the sect. The sect members quickly bowed. Disciple greet Elder Ming Master Chi. These few people say they are Marshal Brother Bien Fengta's friend. They came to visit the old sect leader, and I was explaining things to them. Oh! Elder Ming studied them, and eventually her eyes fell on Jin Qianqing and saluted with his fists. I believe since you guys are with Erda, you would know where he is. Jin Qianqing didn't know, but Yi Mo said, Yes, Erda is my friend. I know where he is. He's busy with cultivation, and I happened to go past the sect, so I came to visit. There was a sliver of shock that flashed really quickly in the other female cultivator's eyes. Elder Ming heard this and showed an expression of surprise and joy. So you guys are Erda's friends. Please come in. In 1 month, it will be the celebration of our young sect leader taking the sect leader position. You guys can participate. The Elder Ming said to the female cultivator next to her Irong, Notify Elder and young sect leader to welcome Erda's friends. I'll take these friends to the guest hall first. Irong subconsciously shivered and quickly said, Yes, Elder. Irong, you're about to be sect leader wife. Don't always call me Elder, just call me Sister Ming. Elder Ming reproached. Yi Mo immediately realized that this female cultivator was Chi Irong, but he felt this Chi Irong wasn't a slutty woman. Thinking about this, Yi Mo said, This is probably Goddess Chi Erda told me about. Then Yi Mo said to that Elder Ming, Elder Ming, how about let Goddess Chi take us to the guest hall? With someone familiar here, we can talk better. There was a sliver of anger in her eyes, but she smiled. Okay, Irong, don't be rude to our important guests. If the guests are unhappy and leaves, the big elder won't be happy. Yes, Elder Chi. Chi Irong quickly said and didn't call her Sister Ming. Elder Ming didn't seem to mind and nodded to Yi Mo and them before walking off. Chi Irong took them a few steps and stopped, saying desperately, Quickly leave. Tell Erda I didn't betray him. Tell him to never come back again. Things were indeed different to what Erda said. Yi Mo frowned. Erda is my friend. I don't know how his father died. I can't just leave like this. Why don't you listen? The big elder of the sect is... Chi Irong's words were interrupted by a laugh. A figure closed in extremely rapidly. Irong, why don't you take the distinguished guest to the guest hall? It's not good to treat guests like this. Then he raised his hand. Friends, please. Erda's friends are the hidden sword sect's friends. Yi Mo felt things weren't right. This disaster transformation state, level 6, seemed hospitable, but Yi Mo didn't feel welcomed at all. Thinking about what Chi Irong said, he hid his power. Chi Irong looked down and didn't talk, seeming as though she didn't dare to say anything. Chi Irong looked down and didn't talk, seeming as though she didn't dare to say anything. This disaster transformation state, level 6, waved his hand to her and said, You can go, I'll hand here. Yi Mo felt things were getting more wrong. She was about to be sect leader wife, and that Elder Ming yelled her around. Now, this elder didn't rep sect her much as well. Before she could go, Yi Mo smiled. Chi Irong is having a good talk with us. Let her stay and chat with her. The disaster transformation state, level 6, didn't expect Guillermo to say this. He was at a loss for words. He nodded and said, "That's true. Come in together then, Irong." It was supposed to be guest hall, but Guillermo's spirit sense scanned that the place they went to was only a distant, far-off hall. There was a level 8 defense formation outside. It was subtle, but Guillermo saw it immediately. Then the disaster transformation state said, "Where is Erda now?" I was really happy to hear Marshall Brothers' friends come here. A sharp voice sounded interrupting the disaster transformation state cultivator. Elder Ming and a bald-headed truth realization state, level 1 came in with this voice. Guillermo didn't expect there to be truth realization state cultivator here. That truth realization state, level 1 looked at him immediately. Guillermo guessed that Elder Ming couldn't see his power, so she invited this truth realization state here. The sharp voice was Erda's martial brother Yaoshan. He was body condensation state, primary stage, while Chi-Irong was still only at hollow spirit state. "Irong, why are you here too?" the sharp voice cultivator said happily. Chi-Irong got up and said, quietly, "I came in with Erda's friends." "MHM, I have things to do with you later." Then the voice said to the truth realization state, level 1 cultivator, "Grand Elder, please sit first." The truth realization state nodded and said casually to Guillermo, "Little friend, your stealth cultivation method is indeed powerful. I can't even see it." Guillermo smiled and said nothing. He hid his power to see what this sect wanted. If this wasn't Erda's sect, he would just interrogate them. Seeing Guillermo not answer the truth realization state, didn't mind and just went to the top and sat down. "I'm Erda's martial brother Yaoshan. Erda's friends are my friends. What are your names?" Yaoshan said. He pointed at the disaster transformation state, level 6. "This is my sect's elder, Nan." Guillermo got up and saluted with his fists. "I'm Guillermo. I was passing by Hidden Sword Sect, but I didn't expect sect leader Bien to pass away so early. Erda doesn't know this news yet. If he does, he would feel very bad." Guillermo only introduced himself and not the others, but Yao Shan clearly didn't care either. Yao Shan's mood went gloomy. Yeah, after Erda left the sect, Master had cultivation problems out of anger. In the end, sigh, how could Bien Shangxin be angry? From what Erda said, his father wanted him to leave. He didn't seem angry or worried at all. Yao Shan sighed and barely collected himself. "Brother Yi, where is Erda?" "The next month is when I take sect leader. This position belongs to Martial Brother Erda, but I can't find where he is. If he can come back, I would rather give this position to him." Yi Mo nodded. "I know where Erda is indeed. He's at... Don't say it. He wants Erda to come back so he can kill him and take the hidden sword sect heritage on him." Chi-Irong suddenly interrupted. Yi Mo looked calmly at her. He was waiting for her to tell the truth. "Irong, are you crazy? If Erda comes back, we can give the sect leader to him, and then we can marry. Do you not want Erda to come back? He's my martial brother, the only bloodline of our sect." Yao Shan got up and said in confusion. Chi-Irong sneered and ignored him. She turned to Yi Mo and said, "Martial brother Yi, you're Erda's friend, so I'll call you martial brother. I can tell you for sure, since you came here today, you wouldn't be able to leave the sect regardless if you tell them where Erda is. They want Erda's life and the heritage he took." Yi Mo now realized why this truth realization state, level 1, came here. They all wanted the heritage of the sect. But he didn't hear Erda talk about the hidden sword sect heritage. Did he hide this? The truth realization state scanned Chi-Irong coldly and said, "Take her away." "Yes." Elder Ming quickly bowed and was going to pull Chi-Irong. Yao Shan looked desperate, but he didn't dare to talk. Chi-Irong said again to Yi Mo, "Martial brother, trust me, Erda must not come back. Tell Erda I'll be going first." Then she sneered to Yao Shan. "Yao Shan, marry you? I, Chi-Irong, never wanted to marry you. You and Ming Xiangtian killed sect leader Bien, and you think no one knows? One day Erda will come back for revenge." She walked over to Elder Ming without the need for her to drag her. She had no intention to live anymore, but she knew suicide was impossible here. Since you know, then don't go. Dying here is the same. The truth realization state, level 1 grabbed with cultivation essence, giant hand. Grand Elder, don't kill Irong. She won't say anything. Yao Shan called out desperately. The truth realization state glared coldly at Yao Shan. He shivered, but didn't dare to say anything. Yi Mo didn't expect the inside story to be revealed this quickly. Bian Xiangxin was harmed by his disciple, the one whom he supported. Yao Shan clearly wasn't a good person to be able to harm his master. Qi Yirong seemed to have a lot of things she wanted to say, but didn't dare to. Eventually, she didn't have the opportunity to say it all. The cultivation essence, giant hand, dissipated halfway. Just when everyone thought the Grand Elder stopped due to Yao Shan's plea for mercy, there was extreme shock in the Grand Elder's eyes. Then everyone saw another cultivation essence, giant hand, grab the cultivation essence, giant hand, like a little chicken, and threw him into the middle of the hall. Truth realization state, tertiary stage. Domain great completion. The truth realization state couldn't even crawl up. Yi Mo casually sealed his power. Yi Mo would have killed this guy if he knew why Bian Xiangxin died. Everyone was scared, dumbfounded by Yi Mo's means. A truth realization state, level 1 couldn't even resist, and was thrown like a chicken. Not even a truth realization state, tertiary stage, should be able to do this. But to Yi Mo, truth realization state, level 1, wasn't much stronger than an insect. Martial brother Yi, Qian Bei. Qirong looked excitedly at Yi Mo. Just when she thought she was going to die, the impossible happened. Yi Mo was this young, but he was a truth realization state, tertiary stage master? Yi Mo nodded. Erda told me about you, but in his impression you didn't seem to be like this. Tell me more specific detail. No one dares to do anything to you here. Yes. Qi Yirong nodded quickly in excitement. Qi Yirong collected her thoughts and said the sect leader didn't know there was sect heritage. He had this sudden feeling and didn't tell anyone when he came out of solitary cultivation. He went to visit the shrine of the deceased ancestors of the sect. At this moment, he found Ming Xiangtian, who snuck in here. At that time, this person was disaster, transformation state, level 9 power. Qi Yirong collected her thoughts and said the sect leader didn't know there was sect heritage. He had this sudden feeling and didn't tell anyone when he came out of solitary cultivation. He went to visit the shrine of the deceased ancestors of the sect. At this moment, he found Ming Xiangtian, who snuck in here. At that time, this person was disaster, transformation state, level 9 power. Truth realization state, level 1. Ming Xiangtian heard this, and his face changed. He finally realized he never found the heritage from Bian Xiangxin. At that time, Bian Xiangxin already noticed him. Qi Yirong looked coldly at Ming Xiangtian, who couldn't move on the ground. Sect leader was very confused, as the sect leader of the sect had always been one from the Bian family. Why was an elder who wasn't of the Bian family at the shrine? The sect leader grew careful, and every time he went into solitary cultivation, he hid at the shrine. After some time, sect leader knew why. There was a top-grade cultivation method heritage in the sect. Ming Xiangtian's face went grew. He knew that things wouldn't end well today. Bian Fingta's friend was truth realization state, tertiary stage. He really couldn't understand why a truth realization state, tertiary stage, would be so bored to be friends with a low-level cultivator. The sect leader was shook and furious. He didn't expect Xiang Mingtian was hiding this from him. He didn't know why the past sect leaders didn't know about this, and yet Ming Xiangxin knew. But the sect leader had made up his mind to kill Ming Xiangtian. There was contempt in Ming Xiangtian's eyes. This made Qi Yirong more furious. She said hatefully, but when the sect leader was prepared to kill Ming Xiangxin, He realized the sect wasn't the same sect as before. He had been focused on solitary cultivation and didn't notice this. What does that mean? Jie Yokue asked. Chi Irong bowed to her and said sect leader found that elderly suddenly died in solitary cultivation. Elder Feng, who went out to travel, was also surrounded and killed. The elder Hui died to his enemy. Elder Feng went missing when he went to the Heartless Sea. The sect leader Bien is too stupid. There had been so many dead and missing elders. Is he dumb? He only remembered them when he needed them? Jie Yokue said. Chi Irong shook her head. It's not that the sect leader was dumb, but he trusted Ming Xiangtian too much. And he wanted to break through to disaster transformation state, tertiary stage, so he was in solitary cultivation. How could he know what happened? If he didn't see Ming Xiangtian go to the sect shrine, he wouldn't even know about this. The remaining Elder Nan and Elder Ming were both on Ming Xiangtian's side. Chi Irong's side, the sect leader didn't attack Ming Xiangtian and instead tried to find the hidden heritage. Luckily, he's a level 6 formation great master and had Bien family bloodline. Thus, he found the heritage first. Then he realized why the sect leader had to be formation great master. If he didn't know formation, he wouldn't be able to find the heritage. Ming Xiangtian's face looked bad. He spent all of his time in cultivation. Why would he investigate formation? That's good. Jin Qianqing said and felt happy for the sect leader Bien. Chi Irong nodded. Yes, but at this moment the sect leader realized he was already poisoned and the person who poisoned him was his big disciple whom he trusted the most. Yao Shan's eyes narrowed. Chi Irong looked coldly at Yao Shan. Every time sect leader comes out of solitary cultivation, he would sit in the quiet room for a few days. Yao Shan took the responsibility of cleaning and burning incense there. He was only a nascent soul state cultivator, so he wasn't able to poison sect leader without him noticing. But he was told what to do by Ming Xiangtian. Irong, this really has nothing to do with me. Elder Ming told me to help sect leader. I didn't know it was poison. Yao Shan explained. You knew. Chi Irong said and didn't explain. Sect leader had no one to help him at the time. He didn't tell Erda as he knew Erda wasn't mature at the time. If he told him, they would die faster, so the sect leader came to me. Yi Mo nodded and sighed. So you purposely showed Erda what happened between you and Yao Shan? Yes, I was Erda's fiancé. If the sect leader had a choice, how could he tell me to leave Erda and be with Yao Shan? Plus, Erda didn't do anything wrong at the time. Erda came to me in fury, but I could only harden my heart and ignore him. Then he went to the sect leader, but was reproached by the sect leader, saying, he doesn't deserve me. Chirong's tone went melancholic. Erda thought the sect leader thought he didn't have ambition, so he left the sect in fury. Sect leader breathed easy. He wanted Erda to go as far away as possible. He left a mark on Erda. I can feel it. If the sect leader didn't forbid me, I would have went out to find Erda already. Do you know when Erda came back? Yi Mo asked. Chi Irong nodded. Yes, when he came back, he was cauldron filling state power, and we were both very happy. But the sect leader wanted Erda to leave and not come back. So you asked Yao Shan out and purposely let Erda see. In the end, Erda didn't come to the sect and left? Yi Mo asked. Chi Irong bowed to Yi Mo. Yi Qianbei, you're indeed very good friends with Erda. If you weren't, he wouldn't tell you this. Erda has sect leader's mark on him. When he reaches disaster transformation state, he would sense the mark. Yi Mo nodded, then Erda should know the mark. Huh. Chirong looked at Yi Mo with surprise and joy. Yi Qianbei Erda is disaster transformation state? Yi Mo smiled. Yes, Erda improves rapidly. He's indeed disaster transformation state. After this, you can come with us to see him. But I'm Erda's friend. Don't call me Qianbei anymore. Just call me Martial Brother. Yes, Martial Brother Yi. Chi Irong resisted the excitement in her heart. She thought she would never be able to see Erda again. She couldn't help asking, Marshal brother, you where is Marshal brother Erda? Yi Mo nodded. He's in South P State. I came to East Black State to do some things. After I'm done, I'm going back to South P State. As for Hidden Sword Sect, just find someone to manage it. Then Yemo thought about the heritage. Since it was Erda's, he was planning to take it to him. Yemo asked, where is the heritage now? Erda isn't here. Can I bring it to him? Chi-Yirong knew that she wouldn't be able to stop it if a Qianbei like this wanted Erda's heritage, so she said. Not long after Erda left, Ming Xiangtian found the heritage place and realized it was found by the sect leader. He also realized that his things were exposed. Just when Ming Xiangtian was about to attack, the sect leader killed himself. The sect leader told me to find a time to leave the sect and find Erda. The sect leader didn't tell me, but I knew the sect leader had already given the heritage to Erda, but Erda doesn't know. Then why haven't you left? Jie Yokue asked. Jean Qianqing replied for her, because she's been kept in custody here. Didn't you see that Elder Ming followed her everywhere? Chi-Yirong nodded. Yes, because if I'm here, Erda would come back. If I leave, Ming Xiangtian wouldn't be able to find him again. Ming Xiangtian's face was pale, and he didn't say anything. He thought that at Truth Realization State Level 1, he was at the peak other than the few Truth Realization States in East Black State. But now he realized he was nothing to a real master. Under Yi Mo's domain, Ming Xiangtian and them were all killed. Yao Shan truly loved Chi-Yirong, and she couldn't do it, so Xan she killed him. There were not a single disaster, transformation state, cultivator left in the sect. Chi-Yirong gave the sect leader position to a cauldron-filling state, tertiary stage cultivator. One day later, they all left the sect. Chi-Yirong came with them. At this moment, at the previous site of Magical Herb Sect, Yemo and Luo Ing stood here silently. The sect doors had turned into barren wasteland. There were some level 1 and level 2 spirit herb scattered around everywhere. They sprouted from seeds of the herb garden. At this moment, at the previous site of Magical Herb Sect, Yemo and Luo Ing stood here silently. The sect doors had turned into barren wasteland. There were some level 1 and level 2 spirit herb scattered around everywhere. They sprouted from seeds of the herb garden. Luo Ing held Yemo's hand and walked into the ruins. Seeing where they used to live, Luo Ying's eyes went red. This was not only the place she and Yemo stayed at, but also where she lived since she had memory. Yemo, this is where I concocted pills. This is where you cultivated, even though this place was in ruins. Luo Ing remembered very clearly. Susu! Yemo knew Luo Ing felt very sad and comforted. Yemo said. What is it? Luo Ing looked at Yemo in confusion. Yemo pointed at the ruins and said, someone set up restriction here, meaning that if we go in, people would immediately know. Who would set up restriction at this ruin? Luo Ing asked in confusion. The sect had no spirit chi nor spirit herbs. Those level 1 and level 2 spirit herbs were worthless and could be found everywhere. I don't believe it would be anyone else but the Westflow sect. Yemo said heavily. Luo Ing fell silent. The sect was annihilated due to her. Now the Westflow sect set up a restriction here to wait for her, or Yemo to come back. Yemo grabbed her hand. Susu, don't feel guilty. The sect was annihilated not due to you. You were just an excuse. Luo Ing looked at him in confusion. Yemo didn't hide it from her. I told you when I killed Jingyujin at the Truthfall Palace. There was something I didn't tell you. The reason his father wanted to annihilate Magical Herb Sect was for a herb cauldron. Herb cauldron? Luo Ing asked in confusion. Yemo nodded. That's right, but after they annihilated our Magical Herb Sect, they didn't find it. They only found a lid. I knew this from Jingyujin. He wouldn't dare to lie to me before his death. Then they set up this restriction for the herb cauldron. Luo Ing asked. Yemo said heavily, if I'm not wrong. West Flow sect has such intention, but of course the main point for this restriction is to wait for me, or you to come back, especially you. You were the greatest prodigy of the sect at the time. It would most likely be you who took the herb cauldron. Of course, even if it isn't on you, you would still fall into their hands. So this means if we touch the restriction now, the West Flow sect people would come. Luoing asked GMO, theoretically yes, but after all years, I'm not if they would come. We don't need to wait here, we'll go there now. Yemo looked at the direction of the West Flow sect with killing intent. There was still a Jing Kuan waiting to be killed. Yemo had never been there, but the Xian brothers knew where it was. Blue Moon arrived there in only half an hour. As a 5-star sect, Yemo thought the West Flow sect would be much better than Magical Herb sect, but when they came here, they realized it wasn't much better. It was a ruin too. They've been annihilated for many years. Yemo felt that it was related to that herb cauldron. If it really was, just what sort of herb cauldron was it? Let's go. Luo Ying pulled Yemo. She suddenly hated staying here. She wanted to go back to MOU City. Zhao City, the largest cultivation city of East Black State, the teleportation formation to South Peace State was here. In a spirit rest tower for Truth Realization State states, 3 famous formation grandmaster and 7 disaster transformation state cultivators were waiting here. This place gathered the strongest power of the East Black State. There wouldn't be more than 20 Truth Realization State cultivators in East Black State altogether. Most of them were hidden cultivators. They didn't come out into the world. The leading Truth Realization State was Mang Hai Sect leader, Truth Realization State level 7 Chi Pei. As the top-level cultivator of East Black State, he usually didn't even have the time to come out, but he waited at this Spirit Rest Tower for nearly a month. He was discussing cultivation experience and formation with the others. One body condensation state cultivator carefully walked to the door and bowed to everyone before saying to the slightly chubby-faced middle-aged man sitting at the top, Chi Qianbei, Chongqing sect leader Yu Jinan asks to see you. Chi Pei nodded, let him come in. Not long after the body condensation state left, Yu Jinan came in and saluted with his fists. Chongqing sect Yu Jinan greet sect leader Qi, elder Ji, Shi Qianbei, He Qianbei and friends. Yu Jinan was disaster transformation state peak stage and 8-star sect leader. Other than the truth realization states, the other people returned the gesture. Chi Pei nodded. Is there something important for sect leader Yu to come see me in such a rush? Yes, please help us sect leader Qi. Yu Jinan seemed extremely wronged. What happened? A truth realization state level 4 next to Chi Pei asked in confusion. Chongqing sect was one of the only 3 8-star sects here. Who would dare to do anything to them other than the 9-star sect Dongliang sect? Chi Pei frowned and had a bad feeling. Yu Jinan didn't see Chi Pei's face and said quickly, an unseen truth realization state killed our sect members and killed our disaster transformation state level 3 elder Chuliang without reason. I went with Big Elder Yumian to reason, but this truth realization state killed Big Elder without saying anything. Yu Jinan's face sunk and said, this person doesn't take our East Black State disaster transformation state cultivators seriously and kills without reason. Yu Jinan suddenly stopped as he felt the atmosphere wasn't right. Theoretically, someone should be helping him, and then the truth realization state cultivators would get angry, and sect leader Qi would order a warrant for that truth realization state cultivator. However, the room fell silent instead. The truth realization states looked at each other, and a skinny truth realization state, level 5, looked at Yu Jinan coldly and asked, how old is that cultivator? Where did he come from? Is he from East Black State? Yu Jinan's heart shook. He felt things weren't right, but he didn't dare to not reply. He Qianbei, that truth realization state definitely isn't from East Black State. I heard he came from Heartless Sea and is extremely young. Do you know what his name is? The skinny truth realization state said with a colder tone. Yu Jinan felt more insecure. He didn't know what he said wrong, and replied carefully. He said he's called Yemo. Saying that, Yu Jinan immediately felt things weren't right. The truth realization states looked at him with even colder eyes. The other disaster transformation state, cultivators, and formation, Grand Master, looked at him with a sliver of pity. Chi Pei sneered and couldn't even be bothered talking. The skinny truth realization state sneered at Yu Jinan. You brought this on yourself. Your Chongqing sect has always been very dominant, and I was thinking this day would occur. You want sect leader Qi to help you. I think you should wipe your neck clean. Yu Jinan fell into an ice cave hearing this. He didn't know where he was wrong. That truth realization state was powerful, but Chi Pei was the #1 person in East Black State. How could he be so scared? Chongqing sect was an East Black State sect. Why was it like this? Yu Jinan finally realized that Yi Mo was no ordinary person. He didn't know who exactly Yi Mo was, but he knew if he didn't make remedies now, Chongqing sect would be over. Feeling the pressure from the truth realization states, Yu Jinan knelt down. He wanted to slap himself a few hundred times. He didn't even find out who Yi Mo was and came here to seek death. Feeling the pressure from the truth realization states, Yu Jinan knelt down. He wanted to slap himself a few hundred times. He didn't even find out who Yi Mo was and came here to seek death. The skinny truth realization state looked coldly at Yu Jinan and said coldly, Are you regretting not finding out Yi Qianbei's identity first? Hearing this, Yu Jinan almost fell. Even truth realization state level 5, He Tsume called the young cultivator Qianbei. Just who was he? He was crazy to take on someone like that for a dead Chu Liang. He Qianbei, Wanbei. Yu Jinan didn't want to get revenge from Yi Mo at all. He just wanted to go back to the sect and go into solitary cultivation and not come out until he reached truth realization state. Before truth realization state, he was worse than an insect in front of them. This feeling was intolerable for him, a cultivator who had been at the top for so long. The skinny cultivator said Yi Qianbei came to East Black State to set up interstate teleportation formation. You offended Yi Qianbei. No one can save you. Then, Hiwume shot out a dark ray into Yu Jinan's chest. Yu Jinan couldn't move immediately. Hiwume turned back to a disaster transformation state level 7 and said, Shangfei, lock him up first and wait for Yi Qianbei's decision. Yes. A cultivator came up and took Yu Jinan away immediately. Yu Jinan knew Shangfei, but even if he wasn't sealed, he didn't dare to do anything. He breathed easy after leaving the room. He really couldn't take that pressure inside. Shangfei took Yu Jinan to a room and saluted with his fists. Sorry, sect leader you can only stay here and wait for Yi Qianbei. Yu Jinan took out a jade bottle to Shangfei. Brother Shang, on the account we know each other, can you tell me who that Yi Qianbei is? Looking at the jade bottle, Shangfei couldn't resist, but take it and say, Sect leader I only know some simple things. The teleportation formation from East Black State to South Peace State is seriously damaged. That Yi Qianbei is a level 9 formation Grand Master coming to repair it. Yu Jinan dazed, a level 9 formation Grand Master was indeed very important, but not to the degree for Hiwume to call him Qianbei. Shangfei sighed, seeing that Yu Jinan hadn't realized things, sect leader Yu. Your sect is 8-star sect, but Yi Qianbei can probably completely stamp clean your sect in less than 5 minutes. The East Black State teleportation formation is damaged, but it can still teleport Jade Slip. 9-star sect Heaven Demon sect leader Shil Wan are friends with Qi Qianbei. This time 11 Luan Qianbei went to North Far State. Before she went, she sent a Jade Slip to sect leader Qi, and it introduced Yi Qianbei's character and power. Shang Fei shook his head, sect leader Yu. If you knew that the South P State disaster was saved by Yi Qianbei by himself, if you knew 2 9-star sects in South P State were easily annihilated by Yi Qianbei, if you knew the 10-star power of South P State Pill City sent 11 Truth Realization State cultivators to attack Yi Qianbei and was killed clean by Yi Qianbei, and yet Pill City didn't even have the courage to get revenge, you wouldn't look for trouble with Yi Qianbei. Huh. Yu Jinan was completely dazed. He didn't expect the young cultivator he wanted to look for trouble with was this power. This was completely beyond truth, realization state, cultivator. No wonder he Wumei called this person Qianbei. Before Shang Fei left, he said, Qi Qianbei and them are here waiting for Yi Qianbei. They've been waiting for a month or so. Yu Jinan completely collapsed. He knew that with one word of Yi Qianbei, he would be completely over, and so would his sect. The Spirit Rest Tower's happy atmosphere was made sullen by Yu Jinan. Qi Pei was annoyed. This Yu Jinan was an unlucky charm. Shilwan was very close to him. When they first set up the teleportation formation, they too regretted meeting so late. Her jade slip was very detailed, and he only told the others some basic things. Yi Mo could be said to be the #1 person in South P State now. Level 9 Formation Grandmaster, Level 9 Pill King, and he annihilated 1,000 km spirit devouring bug by himself, killing a few 100 million sand soul beasts. He killed 11 truth realization states, including a truth realization state, Level 9 with low-grade immortal artifact. Fighting against someone like that is asking for death. Just when Qi Pei was annoyed, the body condensation state reported again, saying desperately, Qi Qianbei, Qianbais, Yi Qianbei is at the teleportation formation, studying the teleportation formation. Quickly go! Qi Pei rushed out of the Spirit Rest Tower already. The rest of the cultivators followed. They all wanted to see what sort of person this Yi Qianbei was. Yi Mo knew that Luoing wanted to go back, but Yi Mo wasn't going to fly across the Heartless Sea. He just needed to repair the teleportation formation and go back through there. They just arrived for a while, and Qi Pei brought everyone over. East Black State, Qi Pei, greet Grand Master. Qi Pei wanted to call Yi Mo Qianbei, but Yi Mo was much younger than him and only a level higher than him in cultivation level. He knew he would probably be instantly killed by Yi Mo, but he was too embarrassed to call Yi Mo Qianbei. Yi Mo heard of Qi Pei. Wan Shi told him it was her good friend. Even if he wasn't Wan Shi's friend, Yi Mo would give some face to him for being East Black State Truth Realization State. So he politely greeted everyone, including the Disaster Transformation State Level Formation Grandmasters. After that greeting, they realized sometimes stories weren't true. Luan, she said, Yi Mo was very powerful, and they must not offend Yi Mo. This made them think Yi Mo was a cold master, but Yi Mo treated Qi Pei with the same attitude he treated body condensation states. Qi Pei breathed easy and then spoke about Yu Jinan. Without hesitation, he knew it was Yu Jinan's wrong. Chu Liang, he knew, was very lustful. Yi Mo's wife was an extreme beauty in this world. Chu Liang wasn't going to let her go after seeing her. Hearing this, Yi Mo's face immediately sunk. He just realized that he let Yu Jinan, but this guy instead wanted to find people to kill him. Seeing this, Qi Pei immediately realized what to do without the need for Yi Mo to say anything. He said to the Truth Realization State Level 2 behind him, Sect Leader, you has made a huge mistake. He must die. The Chongqing sect can change elders. Yes, Sect Leader. The Truth Realization State turned to leave. Yi Mo didn't expect Qi Pei to be this decisive. Yi Mo wasn't going to let go someone like that. Yi Qianbei, how should we set up this formation? Please tell us. We can do the work. This was the only Level 9 formation, Grand Master of East Black State. Yi Mo nodded. I'll set up this formation. The spirit chi here is too bad. The formation materials are too low quality too. I will switch it all. Then Yemo said to Luo Ing Susu, go with Qian Qing and them and stay at the Spirit Rest Tower for a few days. I need about 5 to 6 days for this formation. Yemo was level 1 Immortal Formation Master. He had no problems for this teleportation formation, and he had plenty of materials in his storage ring. He was willing to do this for East Black State. He wanted that after he set up the teleportation formation, any cultivator could use it to get to South Peace State and not be limited like before. MHM. Luoing nodded. Seeing Yemo take out an extreme grade spirit range and put into the formation, even Chi Pei was dazed. Even his sect didn't have it, and yet easily took one out to set up the teleportation formation. This wasn't just wealthy. The few formation grandmasters saw Yemo make formation flags on the spot and knew Yemo wasn't repairing formation. He was setting up a completely new teleportation formation. "5 days later, Yemo finished setting up the teleportation formation. He didn't leave immediately and asked Chi Pei to help him find Chi Wanqing. 5 days later, Yemo finished setting up the teleportation formation. He didn't leave immediately and asked Chi Pei to help him find Chi Wanqing. A month later, Yemo didn't get any news of her. He was disappointed and left East Black State with Luoing and them. Returning to South Peace State, Jin Qianqing also bid farewell and left. The blue moon came to MOU City. Both Xian brothers and Chirong were astounded by the dense spirit chi in MOU City. The Xian brothers rejoiced at their decision. For someone who stayed at the sea corner for a few decades, any place in South Peace State would make them very happy, much less MOU City. They could imagine how rapid they would be cultivating here. Yemo thought Erda would ignore Chirong, but what they didn't expect was that he saw her and immediately rushed over grabbing her hand. "Yartie!" Chirong was excited seeing him after a few decades again and didn't know what to say. "Did something happen to my dad?" Bien Fengta had a bad feeling and said in a shaky tone. Chirong's eyes went red and she said in surprise, "You already know?" Bien Fengta took out a jade disc and nodded. "After I reached disaster transformation state, I found this heritage disc. I know everything. Sorry, Irong, I shouldn't misunderstood you." They knew the two had a lot to talk, so they left. After all the huge events, South Peace State completely calmed down, and so were the 3 other states in Luoyu continent. Yemo repaired the few teleportation formations and set up the teleportation formation from Peihai City to MOU City, and then went into solitary cultivation. The benefits of corner soul weed to his spirit sense was unimaginable. Yemo got a lot of corner soul weed, but he used them up quick and needed to leave some for the people with him. Yemo didn't use time formation disc to cultivate spirit sense. He didn't have much immortal crystals left. 3 years later, Yemo's spirit sense doubled. His spirit sense improved like crazy using corner soul weed and pure spirit nourishing well. If he went to annihilate those spirit-devouring bugs, he wouldn't almost collapse in exhaustion. Yemo had reached level 5 of 5-element mobility. He could use 2 purple suns for Heaven Flame 9 suns now. The only pity was that he didn't have a better spirit sense cultivation method. His purple ice soul sever was too low. If he had better spirit sense cultivation method, Yemo believed he would be able to reach Heaven Flame 9 Suns, level 3. Su Jingwen finished her Divine Damnation and reached Cauldron Filling State. Luo Ing reached Body Condensation State, level 7. Tang Beiwei reached Hollow Spirit State, level 4, and even Xu Ping and Shi Tai were nascent Soul State. Only Yemo didn't dare to cultivate. He was afraid he wouldn't be able to control his power and ascended early. What annoyed Yemo was that when he cultivated, his cultivation wasn't fast when he used time formation disc and immortal crystals. But when he cultivated spirit sense, In a few short years, he reached Truth Realization State Level 8 peak. If he used immortal crystals, he would have reached Truth Realization State Level 9 in a short time already. Yi Mo knew he couldn't keep waiting. If he kept waiting, he might not have a chance to go back to the small world. Knowing that Mu Xiaoyan went missing at Liangji Valley in the small world, Yi Mo wanted to go down already. Now that Mou City was going in the right tracks and everyone was cultivating fast, if he still didn't go to the small world, people would be immortal ascending. He wanted to immortal ascend first. Mou City was the safest place in South Peace State. No one dared to mess with them. This was a place countless people respected, so Yi Mo felt very safe leaving everyone here. From Jean Jinlin's jade slip, he knew that Immortal Realm was countless times bigger than Luoyu continent. The 33 heavens of Immortal Realm. If each heaven was an ocean, Luoyu continent wouldn't even splash a wave up if thrown inside. At Mou City Lake, Yi Mo, Luoying, Ning Qingxue, Su Jingwen, Song Yangzhu and them were sitting together. They knew Yi Mo was going to the small world, but no one stopped him. No one felt unhappy to. Yi Mo would do this for any one of them. If Yi Mo wasn't like this, how could they fall in love with him? How are you planning to go? Ning Qingxue bit her lips. She was body condensation state level 4, and many times she wanted to give birth to a child for Yi Mo, but seeing everyone cultivating and out of fear, she would fall behind too much. She delayed this plan to after Immortal Ascension. Yi Mo was planning to go Nangong Village first. That place was too mysterious. It was where Chu Jiyu lived too. Chu Jiyu Immortal ascended in the small world. Perhaps he could find something there. If not, he would forcefully tear open the voice. But Yi Mo didn't dare to say this. He was afraid they would go there if he went for too long. Nangong Village was not a good place. He warned everyone in Mou City to never go there unless reaching Truth Realization State Peak Stage. I'm planning to tear open the void. I can do that with my power now. I reached God's state body refinement there, so there's no danger. Even if I can't find the small world, I can come back. Yi Mo said casually. Then you need to come back earlier. Su Jingwen said. Yi Mo nodded. No matter if I find Xiaoyan or not, I will try to come back as early as possible. If Xiaorun is there too, we'll be all united. Then Yi Mo said heavily, there's no direction in the void, so I don't know if I will go directly to the small world. So, I need to tell you guys some things. The group focused, seeing that Yi Mo's tone was serious. No matter how long cultivators live in the cultivation realm, it's at most about 10,000 years. Those older than that are very rare. We will be together forever, so we can only ascend to Immortal Realm. I want us to be able to be together forever in the Immortal Realm. Then we can sit in my magic artifact and roam the 33 heavens. So, ascending to the Immortal Realm is our first fighting step. If we ascend to Immortal Realm, would we be able to live forever and be together forever? Song Yangzhu's eyes were teary. She was the weakest. She was scared she would fall behind too much and stay here alone. She couldn't resist being alone. Yi Mo shook his head. I don't know, I only know Immortal's lifespan is countless times that of cultivation realm cultivators. I don't know if it's eternal lifespan, but I have a feeling that even in the Immortal Realm, you probably can attain eternal life. He knew what Song Yangzhu thought. She worked hard, but due to spirit root limitations, she was the weakest. Yi Mo got up and pulled her hand. No matter what, I'll be satisfied that we can stay together in the Immortal Realm for countless years. Yangzhu, don't worry, although your spirit root isn't as good as Jingwen and Qingxue and them, but you can Immortal Ascension too. Trust me. Song Yangzhu nodded. Seeing them all a little reluctant to let him go, Yi Mo said again, I'm certain I can come back, but there's no direction in the void. I don't know how long it will be till I come back. So before I leave, I need to tell you what I know about the Immortal Realm so we can all meet up after Immortal Ascension. The Immortal Realm is different to Luoyu continent. If we don't make arrangements, we'll never find each other. Yemo said seriously. So before I leave, I need to tell you what I know about the immortal realm so we can all meet up after immortal ascension. The immortal realm is different to Luoyu continent. If we don't make arrangements, we'll never find each other. Yemo said seriously. Tell us. After you leave, I will tell this to Yemo and Beiwei and them. Luoying nodded. Yemo said, according to what I know, there are 33 heavens in the immortal realm. There are divisions between them, but I don't know specifically. I think the divisions are either based on power or immortal spirit chi density. Yu Hung Heaven, Lord Lu Jingchuan has enmity with me, so we must not go there. We can't even say we're from Luoyu continent. Just say we're from Shen Qiong, cultivation realm. Yemo was worried about Lu Jingchuan the most. Yemo didn't know how powerful this guy was, but Jin Jinlin said he was extremely powerful. Shan Qiong cultivation realm was the cultivation realm of Meng Qi. It could avoid some trouble. Then where should we meet? Su Jingguan asked. Yemo said, when we first immortal ascend, we're took weak. We wouldn't be able to cross heavens. We wouldn't be able to afford the teleportation formation fees. I'm thinking we can cultivate ourselves or join a sect. After we have enough power, we'll go meet up in Gonghua Heaven. Jin Jinlin told his descendants to go there. It must be very far from the Yuheng Heaven and a rather safe place. Gonghua Heaven? Is it really far from Yuheng Heaven? Song Yangzhu asked. Yi Mo nodded. Theoretically, yes. I got this news from Jin Qianqing's ancestor. She was an immortal formation master and was thrown onto Luoyu to set up formation, and he was killed by Lu Jingchuan. He definitely would want his descendants to be safe from Lu Jingchuan, so he probably chose a reliable place. If you get to the immortal realm and find it's very hard to get to Gonghua Heaven, or it's not safe to go, we don't have to meet there. All in all, cultivation and safety matters first. So what if we wait tens of thousands of years? As long as we have enough power, we will meet again. Yi Mo took out communication beads and gave everyone one, and the extras to Luoyu. These are communication beads I made with extreme flame star gold. You can use it, contact each other, and sense each other on Luoyu. I don't know how far we will be in the immortal realm, but this is better than nothing. Seeing them not talk, Yemo felt sad too. Sometimes he really wanted to just grow old with them at Amoyu City, but he kept feeling this calling, and that was he must keep cultivating. He must stand at the highest point. He knew that even if he didn't cultivate, staying at MOU City will result him reaching truth, realization state, peak stage sooner or later. Other than this, he had a sense of desperation. Even if he stayed at Luoyu and didn't grow in power, who knows if Lu Jingchuan can send other people down. Casting these thoughts aside, Yemo said again, no matter how long it takes for me to come back, if you need to immortal ascend, then do it immediately. I feel that even when I don't cultivate, my power is increasing. I afraid I'll ascend before coming back to MOU City. As for the cultivation methods, I gave you guys, don't worry about the latter parts. They came from 3-birth chant. The latter parts will be born itself. So you must not reveal this cultivation method. Tell Yemo and them. This wasn't the first time Yemo said this. Everyone knew Yemo's cultivation method was very precious. It would have a different set of cultivation method based on the person's own learnings. Their current magics and techniques were gathered by Yemo, but in the immortal realm, Yemo didn't even have his own. They would have to find their own. Yemo was about to leave MOU City, so they just stopped cultivation and played together for a month. A month later, Yemo left MOU City quietly. Nangong Village, Yemo came in here and no one was able to notice. Yemo was certain that there was a level 1 immortal formation here. Before, he wouldn't be able to come in under the radar. From the outside, the Nangong Village didn't seem very big, but after coming in, he realized it was many times bigger than he had imagined. This was all because Chu Jiu set up formation here. It was very quiet inside, and one could occasionally see a few disciples walking past. As soon as Yemo entered a defense formation in the backyard, a powerful spirit sense swept over. It stayed at where Yi-Mo was for a long time before disappearing. Yi-Mo was shook. He knew that Nangong village was very powerful, but he didn't expect it was this powerful. That spirit sense was at least truth realization state level 9. Just what were they doing hiding all this power? Luckily, he only entered the formation and didn't break it. If he broke it, that spirit sense would have found him already. He wasn't afraid of trouble, but he didn't want everyone to know MOU City Lord snuck into Nangong village. This damaged MOU City's reputation. Yi-Mo just wanted to find if there was some teleportation tunnel here. He knew the chances were slim, but he felt uncomfortable if he didn't try. Yi-Mo was more curious after seeing how powerful this place was. After that spirit sense disappeared, Yi-Mo was more careful in here. 15 minutes later, he found that the backyard was the end. There were 3 doors, and they were all blocked by restriction. The middle door was the largest, and the ones on the 2 sides were smaller. Yi-Mo couldn't scan his spirit sense in any of them, so he chose to go into the largest. Just when Yi-Mo was about to move, a figure dashed over. Yi-Mo quickly stopped himself. It was Yi Zifeng. Yi Zifeng's face was numb. He went into the left passage. Yi-Mo immediately knew he must have some jade card to be able to enter so easily. What confused Yi-Mo was that Yi Zifeng was only hollow spirit state when he last saw him, but in a few short years he is body condensation state level 2. Yi-Mo changed his mind. He went into the left door. These restrictions were level 9, but it was nothing for an immortal formation master. After entering the door, the environment changed. It was a spirit herb garden. There were quite some level 7 and level 8 spirit herbs here. This was definitely considered top-grade spirit herb garden. Even though he left most of the spirit herbs at MOU City, his golden page world spirit herb garden was much higher level than this. At the border of the garden was a 9-curved hallway, reminding Yi-Mo of the same hallway at Ice God Forbidden Grounds. Yi Zifeng had disappeared. Yi-Mo followed the hallway, and after a few hundred meters, a level 9 defense formation appeared before them. Yi-Mo didn't go straight in. He had a feeling that no matter how careful he was, he would be found. Yi-Mo's purple eye soul sever was at level 6 now. His spirit sense blades were invisible, and he gathered his own spirit sense spike. Spirit sense spike and soul spike was different. The soul spike attacked spirit sense, while the spirit sense spike was not for attack. It was for dealing with formation and restrictions that spirit sense couldn't scan in. Yi-Mo's purple eye soul sever was at level 6 now. His spirit sense blades were invisible, and he gathered his own spirit sense spike. Spirit sense spike and soul spike was different. The soul spike attacked spirit sense, while the spirit sense spike was not for attack. It was for dealing with formation and restrictions that spirit sense couldn't scan in. Before, he could use spirit sense blades for that too, but there was 2 drawbacks. One was that it used too much spirit sense, and second, it caused too much commotion. If it was a formation someone was guarding, it would be easily noticed. Spirit sense spike didn't have this limitation. Of course, in order to stay stealthed when piercing formation with spirit sense spike, his own spirit sense had to be very powerful, and he also needed to be experienced in formation. At this moment, Yi-Mo's spirit sense spike easily penetrated this level 9 formation and went inside the room. When Yi-Mo came inside expressionlessly, Yi-Mo guessed this wasn't a place he cultivated at. Now his spirit sense showed that he was right. This room was simple. It was only a stone room that was 20 square meters. There was nothing else in the room but a cushion seat. A male cultivator sat on the cushion. His head was very big, but his body was small. Yi Zifeng stood before the man and looked very respectful. The male cultivator studied Yi Zifeng for long while before nodding happily. Not bad. Your cultivation speed has been fast recently. I hope you can become the #1 person of the Nangong family even Luo, you continent number 1. Yi Zifeng bowed respectfully. I, Nangong Zifeng's life was saved, master. Zifeng would never disappoint master, nor the Nangong family. Hearing this, Yi Mo dazed. Yi Zifeng even changed his last name to Nangong. If Yi Beirong heard this, he might get crazy of anger. The big-headed cultivator nodded. Very well. You're indeed the supporting pillar talent of our family. Nangong Shaodai is the most prominent family member. She has nourishing with spirit root. You need to treat her well. Without her, you wouldn't be at where you are today. Yi Mo heard this and sighed. Nourishing wood element is like Su Jingwen's hidden spirit root. Before activation, one couldn't cultivate, but after activation, the cultivation speed would be extremely fast. Nourishing with spirit root was very rare. Any nourishing spirit root of the 5 elements were very rare. Its cultivation speed wasn't as good as hidden spirit root, but was on par with pure spirit root. As he spoke, the rune turned into a veil completely binding Nangong Fei's essence spirit. Then Yi Zifeng released his magic artifact and smashed at Nangong Fei. As he spoke, the rune turned into a veil completely binding Nangong Fei's essence spirit. Then Yi Zifeng released his magic artifact and smashed at Nangong Fei. Yi Mo thought and entered the formation without hesitation, recording with a crystal ball. When Nangong Fei was there, he didn't dare to go in, as that Nangong Fei was too powerful, and that formation was connected to his mind. Yi Zifeng didn't have that power. Yi Mo was certain Yi Zifeng wouldn't be able to know he came in. Nangong Fei couldn't even care about himself now. How could he care that someone came into his formation? Nangong Fei really didn't understand why Yi Zifeng, who was very respectful to him, would suddenly attack. He taught Yi Zifeng cultivation very devotedly and married Nangong Shaodai to him. He knew Yi Mo's origin very clearly. He was Yi Mo's brother and came from a world that couldn't cultivate at all. This tame disciple, who didn't even dare to speak loudly in front of him, now suddenly attacked him. Plus, Yi Zifeng was about to leave, but he called him back. If he was going to attack, why didn't he do it earlier? Did he know he would call him back? Crack! Yi Zifeng's magic artifact smashed on Nangong Fei's body, completely breaking it apart. Nangong Fei wasn't injured much, though. However, he roared with fury. Yi Zifeng, are you crazy? You dare to use level 11 spirit binding rune against me, you bastard! Seeing Yi Zifeng attack without hesitation, Nangong Fei knew it was pointless to be angry. He suddenly calmed down and looked coldly at him. Why are you killing me? I saved your life and married Shaodai to you. If you have no reason, you will be distraught with heart demon forever. Yi Mo took out 2 more runes and put it on Nangong Fei's essence spirit. They were level 10 only. Then Yi Zifeng sneered, if I don't kill you, the middle of next month would be when I die. You old fart are really disgusting. Nangong Shaodai is your descendant, yet you want to take my body. Are you going to shamelessly marry your great-great-granddaughter? How did you know? Nangong Fei asked in shock. He didn't expect a clueless idiot like Yi Zifeng would know. Yi Mo was also confused too. I don't know. Yi Zifeng said coldly, but I've gone through too many things. I was a family lord, do you know? I was a city lord, do you know? I have also knelt down and begged for food like a dog. When I was fighting for food like a dog, I realized something. No matter when I was family lord, city lord, or a dog, something would never change. What is it? Nangong Fei asked subconsciously. Yi Zifeng seemed to be talking to himself. When I was family lord, they were just using my force. I was allowed to be city lord because I wouldn't betray that city and I would work wholeheartedly for that place. You, Nangong Fei was agitated this time. Yi Zifeng waved his hand. You don't need to get angry. It's good that the Nangong family resources are given to me. I will help you kill the EMO. Haha, Nangong Fei suddenly laughed. So what if you killed me? Your wife was still fucked by your big brother. However, Yi Zifeng sneered. You're wrong. I'm going to kill EMO not because he took my wife. Qing Nana is not bad looking, but EMO wouldn't be interested in her, and nor would she think that way. Seeing Nangong Fei look at him in disbelief, Yi Zifeng said coldly, I'm going to kill him because there's a huge secret on him. I will stand at the top, so I must take his secret. You're cruel indeed. This way even if you kill Yi Mo, no one would say anything. Nangong Fei looked at Yi Zifeng like an idiot. Kill Yi Mo. Who did this guy think he was? If Yi Mo was that easily killed, he would died countless times. Yi Mo reached truth realization state in a few years. Who doesn't know there are secrets on him? But why does no one dare to touch him? Because all those who tried are dead. Yi Zifeng didn't explain. He knew Nangong Fei didn't believe him, but he had his way. He turned to Nangong Fei and said, You know why I haven't killed you yet? I know you really do have a dimensional magic artifact. Give that to me, and I promise I won't annihilate the Nangong family. Nangong Fei said calmly, I do have it, and I can give it to you, but I really want to know how you're going to kill Yi Mo. Yi Mo heard this and realized immediately that Nangong Fei was asking this for him. He probably knew by now he was here. Yi Zifeng smiled. I have Nangong Shaodai. I heard he really liked women who are in love with him, and the South Peace State, 10 beauties. Nangong Fei suddenly yelled. Nangong Fei suddenly yelled. Rumble. An explosion sounded. Yi Zifeng barely released his defense magic artifact, but was blasted away. He looked at the dissipated Nangong Fei in shock and realized that even with the body and his essence spirit was bound, a truth realization state cultivator wasn't someone a body condensation state could threaten. Yi Zifeng's face changed a few times before having to accept the reality. He cleared the body inside the room and left. Yi Mo didn't expect Yi Zifeng's person had twisted to this extent. He would do anything necessary to reach his target. Looking at Yi Zifeng leave quickly, Yi Mo shook his head in contempt. Even if he didn't know this, it was impossible to ambush him with Nangong Shaodai. Was Yi Zifeng dumb or arrogant? Just as Nangong Fei said, if he was so easily ambushed, he would have died countless times already. Yi Mo walked to the only cushion in this room. Yi Zifeng opened it and saw nothing. Yi Zifeng was body condensation state, but he was still used to looking with his eyes. This wasn't a habit that one could easily change. Yi Mo was much more experienced than Yi Zifeng and scanned with his spirit sense. He saw there was a steetle formation there. From this, Yi Mo could tell that Nangong Fei was at least a level 9 formation grandmaster. Yi Mo wasn't surprised. Chu Juyu's formation heritage came from the Nangong family. Other people might never get in, but Yi Mo just spent a few minutes and got in. Inside, he was in this tunnel. There were some formation flags hanging in the air. They looked very plain, but Yi Mo knew if he wanted to go down, he would have to use them. If one just stepped foot or used the wrong formation flag, it would immediately trigger a level 9 attack formation. It didn't affect Yi Mo much, but if some other cultivator triggered it, he would have to await death, even if it was a truth realization state level 9. There was some distance to this tunnel, and although there was spirit sense barrier formation, Yi Mo's spirit sense could still reach the bottom of the tunnel. There was a layer of black rocks, and there was more formation blocking. This was the most secret place Yi Mo had seen. Even Chu Xiaoyi's seal wasn't this heavily fortified. With Nangong Fei guarding here personally, Yi Mo felt perhaps the secret that Nangong family cultivators could cultivate so fast was here. But when he saw what was here was dazed. Even if he saw a level 4 mortal formation or a seal flag, he wouldn't be this shook. When he came to the bottom and broke the trap formation, there was about tens of square km of spirit pond. This wasn't where cultivators cultivated. The spirit ponds were in layers, and each layer had countless eggs. Yi Mo knew most of the eggs here. There was not only spirit-devouring bug, but also fire-eating bug, and even some soul-devouring bug. Nangong family was a bug cultivation family. Yi Mo was truly shook. Where did they get all these ferocious bugs? Chu Juyu annihilated the fire-eating bug demon. Although he got away eventually, but Yi Mo knew clearly the hatred between the two. Yet, at where Chu Juyu lived, there were fire-eating bugs. Even Yi Mo couldn't understand what was going on. There were so many layers and spirit ponds here. Just how many spirit ranges and spirit items were needed to sustain this? What was the spirit liquid at the bottom of the spirit pond? How could it feed so many spirit bugs? If all these spirit bugs lived, how many would there be? It wouldn't just be 1,000 km. It would be many thousands, or even 10,000. Yi Mo didn't even dare to keep thinking. Unless his heaven flame 9 suns reached 3 or more suns, or he wouldn't be able to completely annihilate them. If the spirit bugs were commanded, he wouldn't be able to annihilate them all even if he had 3 suns. Yi Mo suddenly thought of the spirit-devouring bugs. He realized they didn't come out for no reason. It was probably related to Nangong Fei. No wonder he cared so much about him and asked what he was doing. His heaven flame 9 suns was a big counter to Nangong Fei. Seeing all the squirming eggs, Yi Mo felt disgusted. There was countless sticky liquids everywhere. If all these went out, it would be more catastrophic than the last disaster. Yi Mo released Heaven Flame 9 suns without hesitation. 2 purple suns instantly loomed over these spirit ponds. Countless eggs turned to dust. Eventually, all the spirit liquid were roasted dry. Yi Mo knew the things inside the pond weren't ordinary, but he wasn't interested in checking. The only thing Yi Mo didn't get was if Nangong Fei let out the spirit-devouring bugs. Why didn't he go as well? Why did he choose such a coincidental timing too? After all the spirit bugs and ponds were destroyed, scorched rocks were shown. Yi Mo scanned his spirit sense around here and immediately found a place that wasn't quite right. He found an incomplete formation. Yi Mo opened it and found a huge formation heart. There were countless formation flags arranged inside. They were all made with top-grade materials. Yi Mo took a cold breath in. This was a level 1 immortal formation. This Nangong Fei wasn't a level 9 formation grandmaster, but a level 1 immortal formation master. The main thing was that formation disc in the immortal formation was definitely not from the cultivation realm. Yi Mo guessed that even that Jin Jinlin wouldn't be able to make it. An incomplete level 1 immortal formation was just to stabilize this formation disc. Yi Mo felt it was definitely not good if it was stabilized. He even suspected that this was a backup measure for Lu Jingquan to come down. Without hesitation, Yi Mo took the formation disc and the incomplete immortal formation. He just threw them all at the golden page world and sealed it. But Yi Mo wasn't happy. If Lu Jingquan could have a second way of coming down, he might have a third. Yi Mo's guess was right. This formation disc was indeed a backup measure for Lu Jingquan to come down. But Yi Mo didn't know that even though Lu Jingquan had cultivated countless years in the immortal realm, he only got 2 of these runes to travel from immortal realm to cultivation realm, and this was because he was lucky. After Yi Mo put away the formation disc, he looked around everywhere and didn't find anything else. Then he left the village in a worried mood. He didn't even have any mood to check anywhere else in the Nangong village. He desperately wanted to ascend to the immortal realm and cultivate until he killed Lu Jingquan. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to rest easy. Even if he ascends, Mou City was still on Luoyu continent. If Lu Jingquan comes down, there was nothing he could do to protect Mou City. Yi Mo believed with his time formation disc, he would be able to cultivate very fast if he had resources in the immortal realm. At this moment, Yi-Mo trusted his instinct more and more. He guessed that the village probably didn't have a teleportation formation to the small world before, but his instinct told him he must come here. At this moment, Yi-Mo trusted his instinct more and more. He guessed that the village probably didn't have a teleportation formation to the small world before, but his instinct told him he must come here. Yi-Mo quickly left the village. If he wanted to tear open space, he would have to go Heartless Sea. Otherwise, he didn't know if destabilizing space here would affect South Peace State. As for Yi Zifeng, after knowing his target was him, he didn't worry about MOU City. He wouldn't give Yi Zifeng a second chance. No matter what, if Yi Zifeng dared to attack him again, he would kill him without hesitation. Blue Moon rose rapidly in speed. In just 5 days, Yi-Mo entered the depth of the Heartless Sea. Yi-Mo was planning on going deeper before tearing open space, but a cultivator having divine damnation caught his attention. When Yi-Mo saw this cultivator, his divine damnation was near the end. He was covered in black, but he had passed the divine damnation. The cultivator saw Yi-Mo come over and just changed outfits while waiting. "Brother Yi," this cultivator saluted with his fists to Yi-Mo politely. Yi-Mo nodded. It was Meng Zhen who was chased over to this cultivation realm by Fang Yizong. Yi-Mo had some good impression of Meng Zhen, mainly because he saved Ling Zhongtian. From this, it was clear he was a good-hearted person, or he wouldn't save Ling Zhongtian for no reason. "Brother Meng, I heard you brought the heavily injured Ling Qianbei back." Yi-Mo, thank you. Yi-Mo saluted with his fists. "You know Dao, friend Ling?" Meng Zhen asked in confusion, while being shocked that Yi-Mo called Ling Zhongtian Qianbei despite being so much more powerful than him. Yi-Mo smiled. "Ling Zhongtian is the supporting pillar of North Far State, and someone I admire. Yi-Mo is very grateful that Brother Meng saved Brother Lin." Meng Zhen didn't ask any more. Just when he was about to bid Yi-Mo farewell and ascend to the immortal realm, Yi-Mo said again, "Congratulations on immortal ascension, Brother Meng." Meng Zhen smiled. "It's an opportunity of a lifetime for me, but it's very easy for Brother Yi." Last time at West Extreme State, Meng Zhen thanked Brother Yi for helping me. "I need to tell you, Brother Yi, after you ascend, you need to be careful of that Fang Yizong. His sect is a big sect with a long history. It's called Demon Lin's sect. They definitely have heritage in the immortal realm. Be careful." Yi-Mo nodded. He didn't worry. He didn't even ascend to the immortal realm, and he already offended so many people. But he said, "Thank you, Brother Meng. Did you find the person you were looking for?" Meng Zhen released his qi, and the immortal ascension spirit cloud came over. He shook his head. "No, I was planning to go to South Peace State to look, but I accidentally sensed the immortal ascension, divine damnation on the way. I think I wouldn't be able to find Qi or even if I go South Peace State, so I decided to immortal ascension." The spirit cloud brought Meng Zhen up. Meng Zhen waved his hand. "Brother Yi, we'll meet again in the immortal realm." Seeing this, Yi-Mo had some sudden enlightenment. He sat down where Meng Zhen ascended. A day later, Yi-Mo got up. He didn't even cultivate, but he was truth realization state level 9 now. Yi-Mo shook his head. He was very speechless, but this was his 3-birth chant later on. Even if he didn't cultivate, it would run itself. It wasn't much to begin with. The more powerful his spirit sense became, the more powerful the self-cultivation of 3-birth chant was. Yi-Mo also knew he reached truth realization state level 9 partially because of Meng Zhen's immortal ascension spirit cloud. Now that Yi-Mo had decided to ascend to the immortal realm, he didn't mind his powers increasing. He stepped foot in mid-air and burst out his cultivation essence. He didn't even tear the space, but space had begun to distort. Yi-Mo knew tearing open space was very hard, so he didn't hold back. He used all of his cultivation essence and ripped in the air. Ever since reaching truth realization state tertiary stage, He rarely used all of his cultivation essence. Yemo had some experience in tearing open space. He grabbed the dimension barrier immediately. The rattling space started to distort. Space within 1,000 km radius started to destabilize, and this was expanding. This was almost on par with the sea quake before. Yemo rejoiced that he didn't do this at South Peace State, as all of Yemo's cultivation essence and spirit sense exploded. There was a fissure between his hands, but it instantly healed up again. Yemo thought his power should be much higher than Chujiu, and since Chujiu could tear open space, he should be fine. But now he realized he was completely wrong. Yemo wasn't going to stop halfway. He burned a mouthful of essence blood and ripped with all his might. Space rattled again. The distortion scared away spirit beast within a 10,000 km radius. An extremely small crack was opened again, but Yemo didn't stop there this time. He used cultivation essence even more. The crack grew larger and larger as it made an ear-screeching sound. Yemo dashed inside quickly. Yemo didn't expect tearing open the void was this hard. It seemed the sea corner was really a sealed-off dimension and not the void. Yemo admired the guy who made break space runes. How did he make such an absurd rune? Yemo was thinking of going into the void first, and then find a way out from there. But when Yemo flew into the void he tore open, he immediately noticed something was wrong. An extremely dangerous tearing force came charging at his side. Yemo twisted and dodged this force without hesitation. But the next moment, two more extremely terrifying power charged at him. If he was smashed by such power, he would be killed for certain and even torn to pieces. This definitely wasn't Void Fissure. Without hesitation, Yemo wanted to go into the Golden Page world, but as soon as this thought came up, that power smashed into him. A tearing sensation came, and Yemo was blasted away by this power, splashing blood everywhere. He felt extremely weak, and just when he was about to enter the Golden Page world again, there was a piercing light. Yemo immediately knew he had come to another realm. After eating a few pills, Yemo went into the Golden Page world to heal. He was certain his method was wrong. Void wasn't torn open like this. He didn't believe Chujiu was more powerful than him. With his God State body refinement, he was almost killed and couldn't go into Golden Page world. How could Chujiu dodge that? Chujiu definitely used another way to tear open the void and get to Earth. Yemo went into the Golden Page world and felt scared. After tearing open the dimension barrier, he didn't go into the Void Fissure nor another realm directly. He flew in a terrifying tearing force for a while. If he didn't have God State body refinement, he would have been killed already. Ignorance was really lethal. Yemo had the small sapling in the Golden Page world, but he didn't want to use it. Last time the sapling healed him, it was a little withered. If he used the sapling now, he would recover quickly, but it wasn't good for the sapling. It was too small. Yemo felt the sapling would benefit him greatly in the future. Luckily, Yemo had some immortal crystals and many top-grade recovery pills. Two days later, Yemo recovered by more than half. Only now did he realize how terrifying the tearing wounds were. If it was some other wound, he would have fully recovered already. 2 days later, Yemo recovered by more than half. Only now did he realize how terrifying the tearing wounds were. If it was some other wound, he would have fully recovered already. Yemo didn't want to stay in the Golden Page world anymore. He desperately wanted to know where he was now. What appeared before Yemo was a barren world. There was half soft, half sturdy soil. Was this an abandoned wasteland? Yemo got on Blue Moon and quickly left here. He wanted to find someone and know where he was. 5 days later, Yemo came back to where he left with a bad face. He realized that where he was now had no life nor plants. There were no spirit beast nor even water. All there was this earth and light. Yemo was certain this was no cultivation realm or small world. After searching for half a month, Yemo was completely disappointed. Yemo suspected that he had gone in a ragged world. This world had been destroyed. The only thing that wasn't Earth here was a round pillar in every direction that his spirit sense couldn't scan into. There were 5 altogether. Yemo tried to move it into his golden page world, but he couldn't. He couldn't damage the pillars either. After 20 days of trying, Yemo realized that he might have really gone into someone's destroyed world. Luckily, this world's owner was dead, or he would be very vulnerable. Yemo sighed. He really didn't want to tear space again, but he had to do it, or he wouldn't be able to go out. Just when Yemo was prepared to go into his golden page world at any time and used all his cultivation essence to tear, he was dazed. He couldn't touch the space here at all. In his worry, Yemo tried many times, but the reality made him disappointed. He couldn't even sense the dimensional barrier here, much less touch it. Yemo couldn't keep calm anymore. He was certain he had entered a realm higher level than cultivation realm. In the next month, Yemo ran around like crazy here. Every while he would try tearing, but he couldn't tear open any place here. Yemo realized that this was a sealed-off world, like the sea corner. Like the sea corner? Yemo suddenly remembered that Mu Wuhue said there was a space like the sea corner called the Heaven's Edge. Was this it? But soon Yemo ended that thought. He could tear open sea corner, but he couldn't even touch the space barrier here. This definitely wasn't Heaven's Edge. Plus, if one had to tear the void open to go into Heaven's Edge, no one would know about it. 3 months later, Yemo had calmed down. There was no use if he continued. It was impossible to go find Mu Xiaoyan now. He wouldn't even be able to get back to MOU City. Luckily, he told them before he left MOU City that he might not go back and just ascend to the immortal realm. The only thing he could do was cultivate to truth, realization state, peak stage, and ascend. If he couldn't even ascend here, he would really have to die of old age here in this barren world. Thus, Yemo went into the Golden Page world and started setting up spirit gathering formation. He had about 70 immortal crystals. Luckily, he was Truth Realization State Level 9. It wasn't hard to reach Truth Realization State Peak Stage. He didn't have much immortal crystals left, but he still sued 7 to activate the Time Formation Disc. Yemo left 20 and used the other 40, or so, to cultivate. Cultivation was timeless, and soon Yemo forgot he was here once he settled his mind into cultivation. The only thing that could accompany Yemo was Shadowless. Shadowless seemed to know Yemo was in a tricky situation and didn't dare to stay next to the bitter bamboo. It flew far away and left the bitter bamboo completely to Yemo. With Yemo's current power, his full effort cultivation made the spirit chi inside extreme grade spirit range formed spirit mist, which was devoured by him. If there weren't the immortal crystals here, no matter how many extreme grade spirit range there were, it wouldn't be enough for Yemo's cultivation. A few extreme grade spirit ranges were quickly used up in a few years. When the immortal crystals on the Time Formation Disc had been used up, Yemo was still cultivating. He was Truth Realization State, Level 9 Tertiary Stage. Just one step away from Truth Realization State Peak Stage. The Time Formation Disc stopped, and he used up his 40 or so immortal crystals. Yemo didn't stop. He just used spirit range to cultivate and didn't use the 20 or so immortal crystals. Another year later, Yemo reached Truth Realization State Peak Stage in the pile of spirit ranges. Truth Realization State Peak Stage was something all cultivators pursued, but upon reaching Truth Realization State Peak Stage, Yemo didn't rejoice. He was worried he wouldn't be able to sense divine damnation here. If that was the case, there would really be nothing he could do. Yemo immediately came out of the Golden Page world. What made him rejoice was that he sensed the divine damnation. Yemo breathed easy. He was so scared he wouldn't be able to sense divine damnation here. The only thing he was a little worried about was that the divine damnation didn't even feel as powerful as his hollow spirit state, divine damnation. But regardless, he sensed divine damnation. Yi-Mo threw out 4 extreme grade spirit range. There were a lot of extreme grade spirit ranges in the Golden Page world, but Yi-Mo used them too quickly. He only had 10 left now. Yi-Mo set up Spirit Gathering Formation as quickly as possible and used the 3-birth chant like crazy. The first wave of divine damnation came quickly. Rumble. A heavy sound blasted in the air. The colors of the sky didn't change at all. Then there was a chopstick-sized lightning arc that struck Yi-Mo. Yi-Mo's heart sunk. He had never such a mortal ascension, divine damnation. The sound was so terrifying, but it was only chopstick-sized. When the second blast sounded and not a single lightning arc fell, Yi-Mo knew things weren't good. He quickly packed up the 4 spirit range and flew to where the divine damnation landed. When the 5th thud sounded, there were finally 3 chopstick-sized lightning arcs that landed on Yi-Mo. Despite its size, it gave Yi-Mo quite some benefits. Yi-Mo didn't have the mood to feel it, however. There was only one thought in his mind. He had to quickly find where the divine damnation landed and use the immortal ascension, divine damnation's power to tear open space. Otherwise, he would never get the chance again. He guessed that his immortal ascension, divine damnation, was probably blocked by this space. Luckily, the laws of this dimension were incomplete and thus couldn't hide his chi. Otherwise, he might really die of old age here. Yi-Mo was right. He didn't fly very far, and the 7th lightning arc fell. These were the last 2 arcs. If these 2 disappeared and the space stabilized here again, he would never be able to leave. If he couldn't convert cultivation essence to immortal essence, he wouldn't be able to progress. Even if he cultivated for another 10,000 years, he would still be truth, realization state, peak stage. So, Yi-Mo was truly desperate. He burned little less than his essence blood and used 5-element mobility with full power, darting towards where the divine damnation came from. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The sound grew louder, but Yi-Mo saw the lightning arcs that squeezed and were getting smaller and smaller. When the 9th wave sounded, Yi-Mo flew desperately towards the direction. As the 9th arc was about to end, Yi-Mo ran his cultivation essence like crazy and grabbed at the void barrier here about to tear it. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.